If you ever thought it was likely that the Baltimore Ravens would lose by a toe, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. It is Friday. We had a football game last night. We got another one today. But before we do that, we have money to be made. Thankfully, we're ready to break this market down like a fraction. 13's in the back. Let's get Friday started.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello and welcome, everybody, and happy Friday. Market Sniper, love the new Avi. Love the new Avi sniper rifle shooting a stock chart. Oh, that is so good. Did AI help you with that? Because it looks awesome. Can we talk about how Wheeler moved so much? Was there any indication? We can break it down. Good morning, Amanda. I know you're excited for the Packers. It's okay. You can show it. Good morning. Alex, good morning. ADW, Texas, good morning. James, good morning. AC2000, River, Shaka, Elon. Good morning, folks. We did have a jobs print here this morning. We had Broadcom earnings yesterday. Let's bring on the dude to see what's going on. You like that? You like that? You didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, but now I have to kind of do something like this. You know.
Oh my God, he had that ready to go. Let's effing go. 13. How are you doing? How did you enjoy the football game last night?
Oh, I had a great time. That's just what I've been waiting almost all year for. Yeah. Ever since the Super Bowl ended, this is the day I've been waiting for. It was a great game. Enjoyed it. Got some decent fantasy points on my teams. I'm ready for tonight. Ready for the Pack to take down.
Eagles. Man, we are so close. But before we do that, 13, we've got to make some money here in the market. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Of course, we did get the non-farm payroll here and the unemployment number. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. Here is going to be the SPY chart. First, I'm going to take a look at the chart. And then 13, I'll have you go over the chart. And then we can talk about the data print here today. Market currently at 549. It was actually a little bit lower here earlier today. If we zoom in, you can actually take a look at that. So the interesting thing about this here is that this print brings us back above the 50. And I don't think this is going to be the last time that the 50-day moving average gets tested here today. That value, by the way, is 549.22 on the dot. So we are just above that by like 20 some cents. On the upside here, we still have this trend line. We'll see if we test that. My guess is that we probably drift lower. I'm not expecting like a really bad sell-off or anything here today, but this pop in the pre-market does kind of set the market up for a potential move up and then reversal down to the lows. 13, what do you think here about the SPY and the chart? And if you want to just go right into the data print, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to that. What you just said, we did open the pre-market beneath the 547 level, and we traded beneath there and this other level that I have at 545.18. Traded back and forth between that for a little bit, and then finally that jobs print came out, and we are out of that range. So now we're trying to trade back up into the area we were toward the end of the day yesterday. I would think that we don't go any higher than 555 if we even get up there. I'm going to be looking at that previous all-time high of 551.80 as the next resistance level, and potentially that might be where we reverse. I'm not going to make any claims or estimates without seeing what happens out of the gate here, because I think this move that we're getting in the pre-market, that, like you said, that might end up getting sold off. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with that. But let's get into the jobs numbers.
Okay. Sounds good here. Here is your print for today. Non-farm payrolls for August plus 142,000 versus the 164,000 estimate. That number came in a little light there. U.S. unemployment rate for August 4.2 versus the 4.2 estimate. The prior read was 4.3. That in line with the estimate. USA average hourly earnings month over month for August 0.7% versus 0.3% estimate. The prior read was minus 0.1%. Boy, that was easy for me to say. I'm going to turn this over to you, but my only response is, well, let's see what happens when they get revised. What do you make of the print here this morning?
Well, this is still a little bit in the higher range of their upper tendency that the Fed's looking for the end of the year. Their median would be 4.0. So this is this is a little bit concerning, I would think, for them that employment's rising faster than they were expecting. But I still maintain that they should have started cutting rates already, and I know that there's a lot of argument about that, and that's fine. But this jobs number, this seems to me like there's a lot of the expectation for how many people were going to be employed is obviously lower. So to me, that's going to lead to a little bit more of a weakening economy. As fewer people with fewer jobs, it means fewer spending. And I think we're also seeing some of these, and this is not data that we actually can really tell, but these jobs may be occupied by one person, like 2 jobs to one person. So we might be seeing some payrolls that really only reflect the income of one person, or maybe even sometimes, even in some cases, even 3 jobs. I know that there are people that are having a really hard time with income. They're taking on more than one job, and I don't think we can see the difference in this payrolls, but I would bet that's what's happening. Anyway, aside from the speculation, the jobs number being in line with 4.2, still in their higher end of the range. I think that the writing's on the wall from them. As you can see, Fed Williams is already saying that he feels comfortable starting the rate cut cycle.
Yeah. Yep. And you're right about that. Ready to start the process of rate cuts, end quote. Monetary policy can be moved to more neutral stance depending on the data. Fed policy has been effective in restoring price stability, job market in better balance, not main source of inflation. Welcomes disinflation trends. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on there. Okay. Anything else on the broader market here or the numbers here this morning, or should we just get right to the movers?
Let's get to the movers. I want to wait and see what happens with the broader market.
Okay. And yeah, me too. I kind of want to see the opening print. I have no trades on for this print or for the open, so I'm just going to kind of play it by ear here. Let's start with some of the movers. And the first one we're going to start with is the one that everybody is already mentioning, and that is going to be Wheeler. Good morning, Judge. It is great to see you this morning. Hopefully you're having a great day. Wheeler, okay, WHLR, Whiskey Hotel Lima Romeo is your ticker there. Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust shares are trading higher after the company and its subsidiary, Cedar Realty Trust, announced that the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit Court confirmed a 2023 order dismissing a punitive class action complaint filed against the company by Cedar by purported holders of Cedar's preferred stock. So you're getting a positive PR there about a court case. This thing had a big move yesterday and a big pop here out of the gate today. One of the things that I'm definitely waiting for here is going to be the regular session volume. We do have some volume here in the pre-market. I don't want to compare that to the regular session volume we saw yesterday. This to me is all going to be about the volume. We're already up 127% here. We were up, I think, several 100% yesterday. In fact, let me just go ahead and actually get that number real quick. Boop. At the highs, we were up 500%, almost 600% yesterday. So this thing is really, really kind of made a move. This is, for me, 13, I'm curious to hear what you say, but for me, this is going to be a day trade only if I take it. Looking at day trade setup here, we are getting that volume spike. Again, I really want to see what the regular session volume looks like, and we're moving over the VWAP. 13, what do you think here, WHLR?
Yeah, I think the big move was in yesterday, and today we're seeing a little bit more of a relative volume and just a continuation of that news. This stock has a float of 941,000, so we are seeing this move pretty easily, and it could end up selling off pretty easily as well. We've already traded over 15 times the float in the pre-market, so this is getting handled quite a bit. There is they did have a reverse split on June 28th, a 1-for-5, and I think one of the big reasons that resulted in the float being what it is. And I think one of the big reasons why we're seeing such some big movement today is because of that court case. I think a lot of people in this one or that were looking at this one had shorted it, and it was kind of shorted to a pretty high amount, 33% from the last print that I've got. So I think we might be seeing a lot of covering as well as that a lot of short sellers were caught on the wrong side of this as that court case of with the appeals got handed down. So the decision got handed down to dismiss it. So I think that's another thing that we're seeing here is this a lot of short covering, very low float, so outsized moves. And I don't even know if they pay a dividend or not, but I think it's primarily those two factors is why we're seeing such large outsized moves in this stock.
Okay. Real good stuff there. I'm not sure what's going on with my the chart's working fine. Anyway, Market Sniper here. Was there any news of that court case weeks ago? How could we know about the appeal? I'm not a legal expert here. I don't really have a great answer for Market Sniper. I would just kind of assume, right, that there was going to be an appeal in that case. But in any case, I'm not sure. Even if I knew that was, I don't know what the stock price is actually going to do.
I would say unless you were actually watching this every day and digging into what was going on with the company, I don't know that you would have necessarily been tipped off to that they were going to get this ruling. So I think it's just one of those things where you don't notice it until it starts flashing across everybody's scanner.
Yeah,
and why it's going up. It's something you'd have to be already paying attention to in order to know when that decision was going to get handed down.
I will say though, if anyone's got a tip on this, I am open to that. So share it with the group. Okay. Good stuff. Good breakdown there. WHLR, really the lasting thing here. I'm glad it's above the VWAP, but really want to see the volume on the opening print. Next here is going to be BLMZ. This is Bloomz. Bloomz Incorporated shares are trading higher after the company announced that it entered into a business agreement with CrossVision for joint entertainment offerings. So that PR sounds pretty generic here, but this popped yesterday in the after hours on some pretty decent volume. Did a good job holding it. Did kind of dip a little bit today, but we've had a couple of impulse moves on decent volume. This has me thinking that there will be some long side trade setups here today on ticker BLMZ. Again, same deal here. It's a really kind of a small price stock. 160 is definitely going to be an upside level. Being able to hold across and maybe even build above this VWAP would be really helpful. And then if you take a look at the daily chart, you can see stocks kind of not had a good couple of weeks here. We are at a resistance level here right about 150, 160. We'll see if we pop above that. 13, what do you got here on Bloomz, BLMZ?
Well, this agreement with CrossVision is definitely what's popping it today. It does have this does have a 6.7 million share float. Didn't see any reverse splits of note. Short interest seems negligible. Don't have anything else really on this. We can go to the chart so I can tell you what I think about it there. Currently trading above the VWAP, and we have that 159 as the after hours high yesterday. Don't really have levels at the moment. I'll put some of those in as we, before the market opens. Mm-hmm. But for the time being, I think we want to look at 159 as the first target to break. Now that we're above VWAP and we're looking to for some more upside, that's to be the first level to fall.
Okay, really good.
Real quick on Wasim asking about Pfizer. I'll cover more of that after we get through these movers. But I do like Pfizer and I own it, so we'll cover that in just a bit here.
I will let you take all of that then. Next on the list here is going to be BENF. This is Beneficient. We've actually traded this one a number of times off the relative volume scanner. Should have some decent history here. Stocks had multiple pops here today. Volume has actually looked pretty good. I don't see any news outside of a Form 4 yesterday. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at the Insiders tab. Looks like we have some sells yesterday. Not sure why the stock's popping here today, but this is what's going on. 13, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I didn't really see any news aside from those Form 4s we're talking about. It does have a 962,000 share float, so also very low like Wheeler. They did a 1-for-80 reverse split on April 18th, and they currently have slightly elevated short interest, 13%, but only 3.2 days to cover. So we might be seeing a little bit of squeezing here. I don't know how much that would last, especially given the absence of a news catalyst. It might just be getting pumped up for some reason that I'm not sure of. But as far as levels go, we need to take out 320 after we get back above VWAP, and VWAP is currently at 272. That's what I have anyway.
Yeah, I've got VWAP here at 266, but that's pretty close, and I agree with your setup there. We'll see if we end up getting that. Next one here, SYTA, Syata Mobile. This is another, maybe we can consider this one an ex-girlfriend. I know we've traded this one before off the relative volume scanner multiple times. This thing often pops and moves on PRs. Got a pop here in the morning, took us above 180. PR here, this was actually from Tuesday, so this is stale. Syata Mobile appoints a Campbell Becker to the board of directors. This is several days old. I gotta think that this is just kind of moving on maybe pump, maybe a continuation. What do you think here on SYTA?
Yeah, I saw that it was the news was old, and it is. I think that would be the only other thing that I can find that this is moving, aside from the fact that it has a pretty low float, the lowest of these that we're talking about today, 882,000 shares. I don't know how accurate this read is on the short interest, but it's saying that it's 46.8% of the float shorted. So we could be seeing yet another squeeze here with this one, especially if it's that high. That would be what I think is driving this up as much as it is. Other than that, I'm not sure why it would be moving on such old news.
Me either, but we'll see what that gives us. Okay, and then the one that most people, it sounds like we're waiting for here, FFIE. Let me know when you guys get tired of trading this one. Is a reverse splitter that moves and sometimes moves for multiple days at a time, like we're seeing here, getting jiggy again here this morning. Catalyst here, Faraday Futures Intelligent Electric shares are trading higher after the company announced it secured 30 million in financing commitments from investors in the Middle East, the US, and Asia. I'm not buying any of this PR stuff. If I do any trade on FFIE, it's going to be a very short-term scalp for the purpose or just using kind of technicals as my guide here. What say you on FFIE?
Yeah, this is a meme stock.
That's actually, I should have led with that. That's a good call.
This company is still losing money. It loses millions, sometimes hundreds of millions in a quarter. So I guess the only appeal I see here is this wonky short interest to float number, which would indicate that it's heavily naked shorted. I don't know how accurate this number is, but this would the read that I have is that the float is now 12.3 million, and the short interest is almost 56 million. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I am almost wondering if that's just kind of a math calculation there.
That might be.
Yeah, let me actually. I'm gonna ping my data team and see if I can get them to double check this. I don't know if I'll have an answer for us on the show, but I'll give it a shot. Anyway, keep going, 13. Sorry.
Yeah, but anyway, the only other news that we have here is that $30 million financing, which apparently people still want to give this company money. Why? I don't know. But that's the catalyst. It's getting more cash to burn, and I think there might be something there with the short interest. Other than that, this is a meme stock, and if it provides a trade, hey, we're going to trade it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, look, if there's a setup that we think we can make money from, we will absolutely take that. One more thing to mention here, UiPath. This was an AI name. This was a darling at one point, extremely beaten down chart here on the daily. They reported earnings last night and popped. They're up 8.6% here today. UiPath shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 financial results and issued fiscal year 25 revenue guidance above estimates. Also, the company announced a $500 million expansion of its stock repurchase program. This, to me, actually looks like we might have another one of those. This kind of reminds me of GitLab. The GitLab setup for the other day, where we had a great little kind of dip right out of the open. We crossed the VWAP. We ripped to new highs. We actually went several points above where I thought it could really kind of stall out. So this has the same look, not saying it's going to do the same thing, but this is definitely one of the stocks that I'm looking for a trade here today. 13, I don't know if you covered Path here. Do you have anything that you wanted to go over here on Path?
The only thing that is in any interest to me is their balance sheet. It does not look bad to me. Their debt isn't too substantial. I don't think that I have their income statement reflected in Pro here yet, but it seemed like it was not a bad earnings report, and things look like they're trying to turn around. I don't have a whole lot more than that, but I was just looking at their balance sheet, noticing that they don't have a whole lot of debt, and compared to their cash position, so they could pay that off immediately if they wanted. I don't know how their what their financials on the internal side looks like, but it seems to me like this is a well-balanced company. So that's about all I've got to add on that.
Okay. Real quickly here before we get to Broadcom, Jay Rice. We talk about this all the time. We continue to talk about risky movers every single morning when we kind of set up our short list. I think that in an effort to just try and be as transparent as possible, we should keep issuing these warnings. And Jay, I really appreciate that you do this. You can't chase any of these gap names, gap ups in the crap names, scalp only. 80% of the time they're lower by end of day. I'm almost thinking it's probably higher than 80%, but I don't have stats to back that up, Jay. You might. What Jay is saying here is really, really important. This is another reason why you've seen on some of these day trades where I've kind of struggled on some of these smaller names. I've actually tried to buy some of that gap up momentum, and that has not been the play. In fact, the play that has worked out more often than not has been the pullback to support level. That's a lot of what Smoked Tuna has been doing. I'm sorry he's not around. Hopefully everything's all right with him. But this is what Jay is saying here is extremely important, and this can help you save money if you are going to trade some of these names. So, Jay, I appreciate this. I, again, do not chase. If we wait for a technical setup, we're going to be in much better shape, even trading some of the risky names. Okay, Lion Atlas bringing up Broadcom. This was probably the biggest event of the day yesterday that happened in the after hours. You can see here we actually had a similar trend line, maybe not the exact same as NVIDIA really couldn't get above it. This was above it for a while. We've now sunk below this trend line. We've actually sunk below the 100-day moving average as well. This is up off the lows of 136, but here's the deal. Yesterday, we traded down on the impulse move. We actually resolved lower later on in the afternoon and then held that level. This morning, we had more selling pressure. Now, we have been bought back to pretty much where the impulse move was yesterday. So I'm curious for our group here, how are you trading this? Do you think we might have a dead cat bounce or some type of bounce play? We might be able to scalp a Vago to the upside? Or do we think this rolls over and maybe tests 136 here to the downside, maybe even break and give us some more downside action? If it does that, 134, which is that 200-day, looks awfully juicy to me. 13, I know we didn't prepare for this one, but do you have any thoughts here on Broadcom you want to share with the group?
I'd like to see it test the 200-day SMA. If it does recover and we don't get down to the 200, then I think we may see resistance at 150.
Okay, let's see if we end up getting that. All right.
And if we could just really quickly cover Pfizer so we could
let's do it.
Get that touched on.
That's right. Go ahead.
So yes, the question was, what do we think about Pfizer? Regardless of what anybody thinks about the pharmaceutical industry, the stock itself, I personally like and I personally own. I like their dividend. That's the reason why I'm in it. I've held this stock for a while. Currently, with the 6% yield, that's among the historical high for the stock in terms of how much it's paying out. So I don't think we're going to end up, not ever needing Pfizer, having it be a part of our lives. So I think this is going to be here for the long term. I think the big headwind that it had was there was a explosion or some kind of distribution center that they had that took damage, and it set back some of their products from going out. So I think that was one of the big headwinds they had, and also that the fact that COVID is now not as big of a deal as it was 4 years ago, and they really benefit from that as well. But I still expect this to get back over 30 and higher at some point. Not sure exactly when, but I still think it's a great company to own, especially if you're in it for the dividend. Solid company. I like it long term. I hope that's hope that's everything you needed.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of that pretty much entirely. I'm with Jay Rice here. I will never buy it. It's just me. It's one of those stocks I have a moral obligation against. I think these people are criminals. I would never own the stock. But that's good. And actually, and this is another thing. I appreciate these questions that we get from our viewers about, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this trade idea? Or what do you think about this data print? Because it's great to be able to get a mixture of opinions on things. And I think that if you had just asked me, I wouldn't have really given you anything there that is helpful for your trade, whereas 13 really gave you a great breakdown. So really good stuff there. Keep those questions coming. Be happy to cover them. Are there any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at? Intel, you guys were mentioning Intel. What a piece of junk this thing is. I think the big thing that for Intel here, we've talked about this. They're doing some of the right things, reducing headcount and all of that. Really, it's going to come down to the next generation chip, I think. But one of the other things to kind of look for here is going to be what happens with the CEO. Do they shake up? Earlier today, Dennis Dick, I believe, was calling for the firing of Pat Gelsinger. Totally get it. Has not done a good job there. I would actually be interested in looking at Intel for a long side trade if we do get news of the CEO being replaced. We did have some levels here on Intel. I don't have them anymore. If we went, I think it's a monthly chart. We had a couple of levels down here in the teens. This $12 level was one. This 15.5 or close to 16 was one. And then we had another really aggressive gentleman in the happy hour that had a level sub 10 down here at about 8. So those are some of the downside levels that you're looking at there on Intel. 13, you got anything on this one?
Oh, yeah. I just everything you said, I agree with. At some point, Intel is going to be a very good stock again. This is one of the CHIPS Act darlings. So the U.S. government is going to, at some point, if the company's having major problems, kind of like how Boeing is, the U.S. government, I think, will step in and do something to help lift this company up or make it so that it doesn't go bankrupt or have anything bad about it. This is such an important company for the U.S. infrastructure. That I and with the being tied to the CHIPS Act, I think the importance here is not something that anybody should ignore. I still think that it's not priced well enough to where I want to start adding or picking up a whole bunch of it. Mm-hmm. But I think like you said, down into maybe the mid-teens might be a good spot to start doing that. So just going to wait and see if we get some more downside. I think at some point, like you said, this is going to be a very good stock. Just can't say exactly when that's going to be. It's going to take some management changes first, I believe.
I'm with you 100% on this one, 13, 100%. Shaka here in the chat said buy Intel at 13. I would agree with this. If we do see Intel print 13s, I'd be willing to take a stab at that. I'd probably scale into this move. Catching a falling knife and picking a bottom has not been my strong suit. Knowing that, I would probably scale into this on the way down. A lot of good levels there in the teens. We'll see if we end up getting there.
Boeing is cratering as I speak.
World Ranking says, like that both of you stick to your opinion on Pfizer. That's what you're going to get from 13 and 9. We're not always going to agree with one another. Hell, I'm a Bears fan. He's a Packers fan. What else do you need to know? But the reality is what you are going to get is you're going to get our honest opinion no matter what it is. So if that's what you appreciate, you're in the right spot. 13, again, can't thank you enough. What was the stock that you wanted to do that you just mentioned that I can pull up here?
Oh, well, we had Replay Game Lab mentioning Boeing as I was talking about Intel.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's in such trouble right now. Let's take a look at what it's doing on the daily. Okay, so we're trying to recover from this movement we had earlier. I'm sorry, I'm on it. What's the problem here? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so earlier this week we were moving down big time. We were getting down to a trend line that we had. We're about to open. Actually, we just opened. Okay. Never mind about Boeing. This thing's probably going to end up going lower. That's all you need to know. Let's trade.
I don't know what the heck was going on outside, but there was some loud truck. So I apologize for stepping away there. Let's go ahead and get focused in here real quick. Just had to refresh my platform. I'm going to bring up Wheeler here and watch this out of the gate. We'll see what we get.
BLMZ, that's trading beneath the VWAP, trying to recapture it.
Path, by the way, first move here is down. First move here is down on Path.
SYTA pushing up, trying to recapture VWAP. It's got a big wall at 161 that's got to get through. Yeah, Dr. Manfred, that game was, we were talking about it earlier. That was great.
I was just saying for that to be the opening game. Like I don't really have a rooting. I was rooting for the Ravens, but I don't really have like a strong rooting interest in those teams. For that to be the opening game, giddy up. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome.
All right, so BLMZ, kind of whipping around here. It's currently beneath VWAP. BNF dropped to the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, trying to turn around.
BENF you were mentioning here?
Yeah, that one's trying to push up, trying to get through 250, a little bit of a wall there. SYTA also trying to get back up to VWAP, unsuccessful so far.
Here's path. Okay, so we dripped right out of the open. We came back. We were testing the VWAP. Guys, this is a long or a short here. I think you could make a case for either, to be quite honest with you. Maybe this can fall right from here. Replay saying path higher. Okay. Gerald saying path puts. Okay. So this is what makes a market. Let's go. Roger Goodell on Squawk Box. Can't hear what he's saying, but just saying he's on Squawk Box here. See, let me know if you guys have any trade there on path. I'd be curious to know.
Looks like
BLMZ, here we go.
Oh, there it is. Nice. So we're looking for 159 BLMZ. And the others are just kind of sideways at the moment.
Wow, what a look at this. That pop on path took us to the top end of the range. Now we're selling off here on path. Whoa. Did anyone trade this one? I actually think this is maybe a short setup here.
Gerald did the puts. That was a nice one.
I think replay was doing it long. I love that you guys are trading this actively back and forth here. Looks like you were trading that bounce there. Okay, I think let's see if we go lower here on path.
All right, looks like BENF is trying to recapture VWAP.
Here we go.
Push here.
I actually have VWAP a little bit higher here on BENF. Interesting.
Just got to get through.
Let me pull it up in my. Sorry, 13. I kept talking over you.
It's all right. I'm just watching for this to break out of 250. It's got a pretty good sized wall there. We might see some big movement if it can get through it. It's hammering it, but not breaking it yet. And
path low a day, 1336. That might get snapped right here.
BLMZ at 195. I'm sorry, 159. That after hours high.
Oh, look at that breakout.
And BLMZ?
Yeah.
And it looks like BNF is trying to do it as well. Got to get through that 250 with all that, all those orders in the way. It's chewing it. Not enough. Not yet.
Aramis mentioning Wheeler here. Sorry, I was looking at some of these other there. Wheeler, this is a little bit lower. I wouldn't be shocked if this gets rolling here. Appreciate that.
SYTA testing the 200 EMA on the 5-minute.
SYTA, okay. SYTA. I always want to say Syata. I always want to say Satya for some reason. Nadella, maybe. I don't know.
Happy Friday, Chicago Realtor.
Happy Friday.
Looks like some girlfriends from earlier this week, BOF having a bit of a whipping around session this morning.
Also APLD trading up here. Take a look at BOF. Take a look at some of these bigger stocks here too. Let's start with Tesla. So that pre-market move from the data completely sold into. Interestingly, market going higher here. Good morning. Stay focused. Great to see a lot of seller above the 14 on path. Like I said, that short, that looked pretty good there for a scalp. I didn't get much on it, but I did get a little bit. Actually, man, that actually went down and broke 13. Okay. At this point now, I have no angle on this. I got to wait for this to set up for another trade, but did hit that re-break short. Once we got rejected at 14, that down move was big.
All right. So SPY now trying to touch 551.80, that previous all-time high. We'll see what happens when it gets there. BLMZ, that's higher now. 170 is the intraday high.
That's moving here.
Wheeler looks like that's going lower. Seems like the 200 EMA is on the 5-minute is up for a test. That would be at 645. BENF still trying to work on getting through the 250, and SYTA, SITA, that one's just trying to recapture the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. Might not do it.
Oh, IoT, this is a pretty decent move after earnings here. BLMZ.
Yep. It's 174 now.
Here's Path, by the way, bouncing off 13. I'll wait for another setup. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this one. Oh, no. Yeah, nice trade there. Gerald, nice job. Nice job on that. And I think the replay, you had a partial gain there on your Path long. I love that our chat has made money long and short on this move already here today. You just love to see that. You just love it.
BENF going lower. SYTA still hanging out there. BLMZ going higher. 181 new intraday high.
Faraday might be bouncing. FFIE, I'm sorry, might be bouncing off the pre-market low there. BLMZ, whoever took this one moving here. Oh, there we go. There we go. BLMZ. This one here popping. I would, if this were me, if I was long this one, I'd be trimming into this move. Get yourself paid. A bunch of Tesla puts just hit the wire there on the unusual option activity scanner, and Tesla pounding the lows as we speak there. More puts now on Tesla.
Yeah, it looks like if BLMZ can get up to 195, that's my next upside target. I'd be looking at 215 next.
Jay Walker says way ahead of your trimming. Great move. This. I don't know if you could have said anything better right there. The fact that you already know what to do and you're hitting that for profit. That's what we want to see. Jay Walker having a great Friday. Let's go.
Oh, WISA's getting set up again.
Okay, let me bring that up. WISA, right? WISA.
Yeah. Wheeler's starting to turn around.
This is popping here. Let's take Wheeler can move. So that's going to be an interesting one there. Wheeler can move.
It hit $15 in after hours yesterday, so we are, it could nearly 2x from here, and it's moving now, trying to get into not.
Yeah, it's above. I see it above VWAP here now, up just barely. Okay, actually no, it just tested it. Sorry, those candles are not getting drawn correctly. Nonetheless, here we go on Wheeler. Are we halted?
Looks like the SPY just took.
We're gonna halt here on Wheeler.
Ooh. Yeah, trying to get through 9, really set the volatility up.
Yep, there it is. There's your halt on Wheeler. Okay, so what do we think, folks? Does this pop out of this halt? Does this pop to the upside? Crow, look at this. I didn't even realize this happened. Nice job. Nice job.
Look at the broader market now. We had a pop up, almost touched 551.80, and now we're selling off.
Here you go. Here's your SPY back down to the VWAP. What happens here?
Well, I'm looking. I mean, it can just go through VWAP for all I care. Might just take a brief break and then go through it. We'll see.
Free Michael Storm. Good morning. Free Fall Friday. Love the alliteration, buddy. I love it. And remember, 13, this is kind of what we were saying earlier, right? We wouldn't be surprised if this sets up for an up move that then reverses and sells off, right? I mean, I could totally see that happening. We need more to see if that happens, but broke through VWAP.
I want to see it get back down underneath 547.
Travis mentioning that NVIDIA is breaking down. I got to think that's going to help another move to the downside here.
Looks like BENF is trying to get back above VWAP. It's making its way back up there. SYTA still needs to recover. BLMZ, that hit a high of 185. Thinking about where it wants to go next, still above VWAP.
BENF is maybe going to test VWAP here and break. Maybe. Volume actually looks all right so far. No position yet for me on this one. Okay, thinking about it, you were mentioning this stuff earlier. I'm sorry, we were rolling through stuff. Tim Melvin's buddy Joseph Stillwell has 30% of his portfolio in it. Let me see if I can find your other comment, because you had more information in that one. Give me a sec. Here, Wheeler, Ryan, remember when I asked you to ask Tim Melvin about his buddy Joseph Stillwell, why he had 30% of his portfolio in Wheeler? He was in much higher, but still, what a move. Sorry, I didn't go deep. Well, you know what? Hopefully he's either recouping some of that. I mean, I don't know where this goes. I don't know the story here on Wheeler. I just see the volatility on that.
Folks, be careful with FFIE. This is starting to put in a bear pennant. I think this may end up going down towards 5. Be careful with this one. Also asking if we could do we trade and how is looking is looking at Neo. He wants to look at it as well. Yeah.
What's going on? Okay, so Neo here, some decent movements. Thank you for bringing this up. Do we trade and how? Love the handle. Neo shares trading higher after JP Morgan upgraded the stock from neutral to overweight and raised the price target from 530 to 8. Believe this got a price target raise yesterday, didn't it? From 5 to 530. Hang on a sec. Yes, it did. Neo shares Bank of America Securities raised price target from $5 to $5.30. Today, you're getting JP Morgan, arguably a competitor of Bank of America, going to 8. Neo higher here. Good stuff on this one.
Did they say why they raised it to 8?
I don't have the note. I don't. Let me see if there's anything else in the content here.
I mean,
no, we would have to get that note from JPM. I don't have it handy. They're not great on sharing their research.
Yeah, the companies, it's I understand what Neo is, and they're really big over there in China, and I understand the appeal here, but this company does not have net income. It loses money a lot.
Yeah.
So that's great. This is probably just going to be, if anything, would be for me a day trade, but I would not hold this company.
Jay, you said, see my earlier tweet on Neo. I don't know how I'm going to find that.
Get to scrolling.
I am. Here we go. Looks interesting. Upgrade at JPM today. Costs coming down and a new CEO. So you're getting some of the things that are positive there. The question is going to be, what does that actually mean long term? But there you go. Looks interesting for Jay. That's not what I expected. So you got that going for you.
Well, let's just take a look at the chart and see how beaten up this thing is.
See how Path is doing here. Path still hanging out around 13. That short was the move here.
I mean, Neo does look like it has a bit of a double bottom here.
More Tesla calls coming in on this move on Tesla to the lows. Let me know if anyone's trading Tesla here. What's going on with my head? All right.
Let's see what happens with Neo when it hits the 200-day SMA. That's been a point of resistance. It was a point of resistance in December. Hasn't been up there since then. So see what happens when it gets there. And that's currently at 545.
All right. BOF halt down. Was there any news, or is this just kind of a whoa? Well, that's a nasty pull down to the pre-market. Nasty.
Oh, there's some news there. It was just...
Wheeler is open. Oh my God. Wheeler opened and yanked to the lows. Is this rehalted?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is, halted. Yep. Wow. That was open for 26 seconds. Wheeler, and now halted to the downside. Who called that one earlier? Yep, it was Jay Walker. Oh man.
BLMZ looks like that's trying to push up through 185. If you want to keep an eye on that one. BEMF.
What do you think on this high break? Here we go. High break. Wow, what a 13. All you had to do was bring it up, literally.
All right, 195 is the next upside target. After that, it's going to be 215. So here comes 195, and there it is.
What a break here on $2. BLMZ. What happens above 2?
Well, I'm still thinking it could get to 215. After that, not quite sure.
James saying, Ryan and 13, thoughts on BAC? Thoughts on BAC. I worked for that bank. I hate them. I would never open one of their products again for any reason at all. I'm totally biased, so keep that in. Warren Buffett is selling a ton of this, though.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. Let's put it that way.
I still own Bank of America shares that I picked up back in 2020 when it was under $20. I have sold some, but I'm still holding a little bit, and I've been kind of mulling whether or not I want to get rid of the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a major bank. It's had some really good run. It's bouncing off its it just bounced off its 200-day SMA back in in August when we had that yen carry trade unwind. I'm not sure at the moment what to expect out of it. I would think maybe it does come back in some more. Probably another retest of the 200 SMA on the daily, but I don't have a whole lot to add right now because this is just something that I've been holding for such a long time, and I was looking for maybe something closer to 50 before I completely exit it.
Sing, by the way, SING, penny stock runner here. Seems to be up near the highs. SYTA been very, very disappointing. Nothing really going on there. Path has so far is bouncing now. It's actually done a really good job holding 13 there on Path. BENF.
Yep, trying to push through VWAP.
There you go. But I was going to say, let's see if I can get 13 to bless it again and then just send it. Full send as soon as you start talking about it.
You have my blessing.
There we go. Let's see if we get it now, folks.
Oh God, I hope it doesn't run now.
I'm sorry, that would be absolutely hilarious if it did, bro. I mean, just absolutely hilarious.
Learn it with Moses. You wanted help with Neon. Didn't I cover Neon when you asked? Let me take a look at it because I thought I did. And that was like earlier this week, I believe. Okay, so this on the daily chart, Neon is actually pretty extended. Got a pretty high RSI. Not sure why it's moving up here. Looks like that was earnings was a while ago. Okay, so a reversal in the Samsung patent case. So they have a patent that apparently they went to court over with Samsung. So must be big to their revenue stream. We've been filling gaps on the way up, and now we're all done with that. The last gap that was filled was up at around 720, 721. From here, not quite sure what to expect. I would think that because of the consolidation, this bit of supply zone that we're coming into right now that we're starting to trade in might provide some resistance. I don't know what's going to happen if it can even get up to 9 or not, but I think 9 would be a big level to watch for. It's either going to turn around there or it might go higher from there. I can't say for sure, but for me, 9 would be kind of like the level I would be looking to exit if I was in this from the beginning of the rally.
Mod is ripping here. Good call there, Webcoin. This is one from yesterday that gave us a pop right out of the gate and really didn't give us much after that. Is popping here though. MODD.
Learn with Moses. That's going to be up to you, man. I cannot tell you what to do with your stocks.
Good stuff there. 13. As much as he'd like to, he's got to follow the laws. 13. He's a real one.
I am not a fiduciary. I'm sorry.
And you also recommend that people do get fiduciaries.
Absolutely.
Because they've helped you. Yep.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that. Be smart. Be smart. ASTS, we are curling here. Let's see if we can take out 30. We know this one can roll. Okay. We know this one can roll. Wheeler, looks like Wheeler is open out of that second halt. And let's bring it up here and see what's going on. Okay. It's going lower here. Look out below on Wheeler. Anyone thinking we bounce on this, or is this just
650 would be my thought.
Okay.
BLMZ, that pushed up to 207, coming back in a little bit, but still above BENF. That's still trying to take out the intraday high of, I think it's 270. And SYTA is trying to turn around as well. Still looking weak.
Okay.
SQQQ actually turning around now. We're getting some weakness in the market.
Path might roll over to the lows here. Which one? You want me to bring up the SPY Qs?
No, I was just laughing at some of the comments. I'm a preacher this morning.
You are a preacher?
That's what Lion Atlas is saying, because I was doing the whole blessing thing.
Oh, that we were just kidding around with that.
I know. I'm no preacher. Well, let's just be clear about that. It's looking for BENF to get to break out. It might be doing it. Yeah.
Here we go.
Got to get through that 269, 270, and then there's a bigger wall of sell orders at 275.
Tesla short close. Wow, comp. That was a pretty good one. What did that end up being from top to bottom there on that short? Comp, I feel like you were watching that for a few days.
Microsoft and Apple, the only Mag 7 screen today.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, Tesla and Nvidia. They're getting hammered the most.
Broadcom mentioned. Let's check in on that. Let's see what Broadcom is doing here.
It's pulling down the Qs.
Lower.
Pulling down the Qs.
We love you too, Lion. We love you too. $8 short there on Tesla comp. Oh yeah, you'll get some sound effects for that, and Chewbacca absolutely loves it.
Yeah, so just to clarify what I'm talking about here with the Qs, Broadcom makes up about 5% by weight of the Qs. So 100% of the moves in Broadcom, 5% of that is going to be reflected in Qs. And being that they are like the fourth or fifth most largest component of the Qs as well, with only I think Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia, and one other I can't think of that are higher. Oh, Amazon.
I'll be honest, it does look like the market might try and turn around here. See, we're at VWAP, so maybe this kind of falls and comes in. I don't know. Wheeler here, how are we doing on? So Wheeler is, oh, well, it's below 8. Looks like it's trying to hold this area. Maybe this has got a bounce. Yeah, I tell you what, the one thing to watch here is going to be that volume, as always. You'll see that the big red sticks is really what pulled us down here. If this volume on the bounce expands, I could see this moving back to 895. Don't know if that's going to happen. I would watch the volume for that. We'll see.
Folks are trading WISA. I think I need to take a look at this.
You can bring it up here.
So this is interesting movement. We got I had a level of 265 yesterday. So we opened and we traded right up to that. And ever since then, we've been trying to break through it. This current 5-minute candle that we're on, we've moved well above it and printed a high of 275. Now we haven't closed above it yet, but I think that once we do, we might start to see the price go higher to the next level, which I have at 290.
Okay.
So let's see if we can get some closes above 265 soon.
Cut. Tenzin took SQQQ, has taken SQQQ.
Looks like SYTA is trying to turn around, looking good. VWAP is at 155. So that would be the first target that I think we're going to be seeing out of SYTA if it gets up there. After that, I'd be looking at 188, which was the pre-market high.
Ben F trying to hold the VWAP area here. It's beneath it, but it's still consolidating around there.
Yeah, still trying
to.
It just needs to hold VWAP and then break out of that 270 level. It's been up there 3 times, rejected every single time. That would make me a little bit nervous.
BLMZ looks like it's trying to make another run 2 and maybe through 2. No position on this one.
And if it does get through 2, I think we see 215.
Okay. Hey.
Yes. SQQQ push. Do it.
Should I bring that up? Should we take a, because maybe trading SQQQ might be a decent opportunity if we continue to roll over here today. Let's see. Someone was asking about Celsius earlier. That's ticker CELH. There seems to be a lot of back and forth on CELH here. I've had these drinks a couple of times. Nah, they're all right. Not my favorite. But in any case, CELH here, really, really rough chart. At some point, this is going to bounce maybe down here, 27. Maybe. Anyone have a line? I think it was Martin that was asking about this earlier. Anyone got a line for Martin on CELH? Let me see if we can do.
Thanks for the mention, Gerald, on Big Lots. They have a newsprint here that they are postponing the release of its second quarter financial results.
Ooh,
so
that's not good.
12th, but they actually said they're going to have it on the 12th. So they didn't just say they're going to delay it and not give a date like, some other companies we've seen do that. But yeah, so this is interesting. It's rallying. It was like up, I think, almost 20% a moment ago. But this, I mean, this company's got some problems. They have high short interest, so this is, we're likely seeing a little bit of a squeeze here. I think at some point this company could end up getting picked up, like acquired, or it goes under. It's just not looking good. This one and Big Five. I think Big Five could end up getting going bankrupt as well.
PSNY here being mentioned by Lynn and Randy. This trading up towards the highs.
Hey, Marcus Sniper, I think there's the reason why.
Yeah,
we can't even get their earnings report out on time. I wouldn't be a fan of that either.
He had just been saying about SMCI how bad that was and how he sold most of it on that news. So I'm not surprised to hear him being consistent with big at all. Not surprised at all. What happened? I just
here we go with BLMZ. It's trying to make that push through 2. Right. It seems like right now it's trying to make that push. Well, we'll see if that's what happens.
On which one? Sorry, I was
BLMZ.
Bloomz. Let's see if we get that 2 push here.
Trying to push right now. Big old
Beach Bum Bex. Hey. How's it going? How about Neo? Neo has been moving here. Actually had someone was asking about that earlier. Where do we end up going on Neo? Still at the highs. Let's go.
Well, for some people today, Neo is the one.
Matrix has actually been on TV a lot recently. Bloomz.
It's a good trilogy, and yes, to me, it's a trilogy.
Isn't it? Only, I mean,
no, they came out with that 4th one last year, and it was.
Yeah, crap. I don't even know if I've seen that one. It's a trilogy to me too. 13.
Yeah, let's just keep it that way. It was better that way anyway.
Bloomz broke through that too. High print here, 210 on Bloomz.
Yep, 210. Just looking for 5 more cents. That'd be cool. But if not a problem either. 210's pretty dang good. BENF, unable to get past 270, going lower under VWAP.
Oh, path, new lows as it broke 13. That short out of the gate was awesome.
Ooh, took a lower path, did it?
It did. Yoda. Tesla, more Tesla contracts getting bought here. This actually a mixture of calls and puts. That does look like it's bottomed, though.
Marcus Sniper, that's a good one, too. It's a oneology for me when he's referring to the Matrix.
Okay, I like it.
I mean, the first movie was probably all a lot of people need. I mean, it was good on its own. And holy crap, there goes BLMZ right through 215 and up to 220. All right, so
nice move there. Comp reversing his trade here on Tesla. So a nice short there into a long. You like it?
And for me, that would be kind of like the exit for BLMZ. I haven't marked anything off. Not that it couldn't go higher. I just didn't mark any other levels off. So that would be my own bad. I
think that would be a really good push, though. I mean, you got 70 cents from that 150 level that you could have been eyeing from the pre-market. That's still a really good trade.
Oh, Chris Biscuit, the Wissa knife. This is what Wissa can do. It is a Widowmaker stock.
Yep, indeed.
Oh man, that is ugly. That's like right back to start. Right back to start. Thank you for the mention.
Wheeler is coming back. Wheeler's coming. That thing. This is wild.
And it's
halted. It's oh my god. Oh, is everyone having fun with it? I gotta say, this is an avoid for me. This type of action, I would almost certainly be getting chopped up on this. Good luck if you have it. Now, last time we tried to go through the VWAP, we really didn't get any continuation. If this trades up to the VWAP, let's see if we snap that 886.
I think so. I mentioned Gerald saying that Mag 7 all red except Apple. And yes, it is. Only Apple up a 0.75%. Everything else down.
Looking across the Twitter streets.
SPY really starting to get hammered now.
Ooh, is it? Yeah, let's bring that up. You're right about that.
I'm getting my wish. We're going back to 47. Let's go underneath it too. That would be awesome. Who avoided what at 1:30 yesterday?
Oh, thinking about it? Yeah, I'm not sure what he's referencing.
Let's see. Just kind of waiting for some of these movers to do something. I mean, BLMZ, that one, I think that one was great. That one worked out pretty well. BENF, that one finally did pop up
that
270 and
dude,
came right back in.
look at that popping knife. You got to be quick to hit that. You got to be quick to hit that.
Yeah. So there's people that don't want this above VWAP apparently.
Yeah.
That's why TA, this has been struggling as well, trying to get move its way through these different EMAs, and now that just dropped a little bit. This one could end up going down to 125 before we start seeing a recovery.
Yeah, so it's thinking about it's busting on me for missing it at 130. Look, man, there's no way that I would have held the stock overnight. So I don't feel like I missed the up move here. Don't feel like I missed. Where are we? We're still halted here, still away from VWAP. Here we go. 130. Oh, yeah, right. This was right down here, and it kept moving, and then flagged. Hey, I'm all right with it.
Looks like SPY trying to turn around here, found some support at about 547.50.
That's what I've got.
And if this turns around, I'm thinking we'll probably end up seeing some resistance at about 548.62, where the previous all-time high was.
This is where the SPY bounced intraday yesterday. The same level it's bouncing right here, by the way.
How do you think Bloomz is going to fly? I
Bloomz has already flown.
Yeah, I already feel like that big move that I was waiting for was in. And I said even after that happened that it could still go higher. I just don't have anything marked off for it. Let me, I need to stop talking about it and just do it. I'm going to mark off some more levels for you. Hold on a second, because this thing actually is getting close to a gap fill. So that's interesting. And that starts at about 230, fills at 252.
Oh, wow. Joseph calling Wheeler to 16. Crow had said earlier that it was for sure not done.
Well, I'll take that. I'll do a tiny bit if, it could be a lotto ticket trade, but
maybe I have to trade some of this after all. Probably going to get slapped if I do.
When it opens, I'll take a look at it and see where it's at, and I'll make a decision.
I think it's actually due to open pretty soon here.
All right. So for Bloomz, 230, we're going to start to fill a gap, and we'll fill it up at 252. So I would think that those two upside targets may get hit if we break that 230.
Lion thinks coin is good at this level. Do you mean for a swing, Lion Atlas? Trying to swing coin?
Yeah, what's the time horizon on this? Because this looks like it's going to end up heading lower over the coming weeks.
See where it goes here. This is a good question. Sideshow T. Ryan, I noticed when you mention how much you bought in a day trade, it seems to always be 200. Is that your go-to number or just a coincidence? No. And actually, it depends on what the stock is. Now, stock like some of the ones that we're talking about here, like Wheeler or Bloomz or these stocks, I would probably do scaling in by like 100 shares at a time. I've been for day trading here. I've been on reduced share size for some time. So a full position is generally 1,000 shares. If you're talking about these $1 or $2 stocks, a full position is generally 2,000 shares. And I haven't been at full positions for a while on some of these day trades. A lot of it depends on the price, though.
So it seems like right now it's looking at coin long term. I can see how there's appeal here because RSI is pretty low. Oh, wow. Look at Wheeler go. That's open and it's heading higher.
Let's bring it up on screen.
It's trying to get through VWAP at the moment.
See if we get it.
And then, so with coin, I'm seeing that there's going to be a death cross in this thing pretty soon. I would wait for that to shake out. I like this closer to 120. Here we go with Wheeler. That was a great call, especially for if we're going to 2x from here, that'd be crazy. But
Sure was.
I won't discount it because we've seen these crazy moves in this in these kinds of names before, especially when they're low float like this.
I mean, hell, we've seen it from Wheeler the past 2 days. We've seen it from this literal name the past few days. Look at this. God. Huge move. Huge move. Hard, though. We'll see if this gets above VWAP. Who's in it? Who's in it? Replay? Looks like you're in it. Who else is in it? Thinking about it. Are you trading it?
Oh, I need to. Joseph Madden asked that I bless Wheeler. And
okay, blessed it up, son.
May you keep rolling, my son.
Oh, 13. Benzinga not trading it. Okay.
I swear, if it blasts off now after I just did that, I need to get off.
I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of laughter. Okay, there's going to be a lot of laughter if you do that. Here we are at the VWAP. What? Please go through. Please just go through and just absolutely rip. I mean, I don't know what to do if that's the case. Like, we got to start setting up some type of service or something. Okay, we got rejected there at the VWAP. You're in luck.
Oh, good. Oh, thank goodness. I don't need to, get
and there's your yank.
Okay. Good to know that I don't have that power.
Market Sniper said he was waiting for 810. Boom. You are filled, boss. You are filled.
I like that SPY creeping higher.
Do you think we turn around here?
Well, I'm sorry, not SPY, SQQQ creeping higher. Let me see here. With SQQQ, we actually tested that 547 level again. I want to see us fall through it. I want to see some prints underneath 547, maybe get down to that 545.18 level. Not sure how long that will take, but that's what I want to see. All right, let's see if SITA, SYTA, can actually make a move through the 65 EMA this time on the 5-minute.
Let me put that on screen. Shout Wheeler if you need me to go back to it.
Okay. Well, I mean, Wheeler is trying to recapture VWAP as well. They're both kind of doing similar things, but, I think everybody wants to see Wheeler more than SYTA. SYTA has VWAP at 153. I think if we do pop over the 65 EMA on that one, that's where it's headed. I don't know how much higher it goes after that.
LASE. They do commercials on CNBC all the time, by the way, folks. This looks like this is going to pop higher here. LASE.
Your puts are at 546.
Which ones?
This is for SPY. No, I want the SPY to go down.
Yeah, same.
I want that thing to get hammered. This ridiculously high valuation.
Whoa, East. Good call. Good call. I like the play on Limp Biscuit here with the Biscuit avatar. I mean, it's just really good. Chris Biscuit. I mean, that's just really good. Really awesome handle here. East. Also a really good call here. East. This just popped. Was there fresh news on East? This was one from yesterday.
It was from yesterday. This is when we were joking about it going south.
$4 million registered direct offering at $1 per unit. That was at 7:35 this morning. Maybe it's just bouncing after the offering.
Looks
I mean, it just spiked here.
BNF falling down. BLMZ trying to make that push up through the 230 level. It's at least it's trying to come back up. It's got to get back above 215 first. And SYTA still taking its time.
Wheeler,
what?
You're now the Pope of Benzinga, according to Tom. I was going to say, I don't know if that's a title 13 wants.
do I need to wear all the garb and everything and have a funny hat? Look at here we go with BLMZ. This is starting to volume expansion. AVGO looks like it's trying for 140. Hey, give us a 200-day SMA.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
I mean, it does look like SPY is trying to turn around, but don't worry, Amanda. I'll just I'll wave my magical hand or whatever, and it'll start going down when I want it to.
Is it a scepter that the Pope? Is that what it is? Is it a scepter? Wheeler?
We go with Wheeler. Yep. Here
Crow,
we go.
get ready. I hope this blasts off here because
Oh my God.
you guys are going to get a
halt.
massive and a halt.
It's going to halt, and it's going to blast off when it unhalts. At least that's what I would think. Oh no, it didn't halt.
And it just went higher instead.
Yep.
It's going to halt here, though, isn't it? Nope. They're not going to hold it here.
Well, let's see. It looks like it's actually going to halt this time.
I think that is halted this time.
It hasn't popped up yet that it is. There we go.
There it is. Fourth halt of the day. Halt Vest. Crow earlier. He was saying that Wheeler is far from done. Now we're moving through the VWAP to the upside. No, it's not a scepter. Okay. What is it? I'm not up on my whole like religious things. Pope Leo 13. Oh, interesting. Well, it's called a papal cross. Okay. Okay, cool.
I appreciate that, Joseph Madden, but I don't know. I don't think that would work out.
I also appreciate learning things every day, and you folks are a huge part of that. Now, while we wait for Wheeler to unhalt, do we have any other trade setups?
I mean, it might be fun to be president, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be able to trade as much, and that would take me away from all this that we get every day. So I don't know that I'd want to do that.
Ask and you shall receive. I do love that sound. It's like a childhood nostalgic sound. Go ahead. Sorry.
No worries. I'm just letting Amanda know that I did a little bit of hand waving and this is going lower. But yes, it is starting to print beneath 547. That's what I want to see. Things are looking good. You notice the move in Rail Vision this morning, just a big old pop and drop, went to 60 cents and then came back in. Now it's under 48 or at 48.
Stayed away from this penny stock.
Yes. Grind higher, SQQQ. Do it. We need a Emperor Palpatine. Do it.
Mitch used to have an order 66, execute order 66.
Execute order 66.
Yeah. Market Sniper, I can totally relate to this. I'm going to be selling Wheeler at 969. That means it's going to go to 15, probably shortly after you hit that sell button too. Believe me, I know how that goes. Believe me. Tesla next leg lower, by the way. Yikes.
I got you, Dr. Manred, but the thing is that I like trading. It's fun for me. I don't know that, getting up on a pontiff and just talking to people all day about one book. I'd rather trade, to be honest.
I was going to say, you also read more than just one book.
I'm
with you. I'm with you. Trading is fun too, by the way. And I got to say that you folks have made trading a lot more fun for me personally. And I appreciate each and every one of you. IoT, Robert, looks like we had a nice little kind of a run up right at the end of the pre-market and continued higher there. Market Sniper wants you to go into Congress and pull some shenanigans and make us richer. That's funny.
They won't like me in there. I'll call every single one of them out.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
They will not like me in there.
CMG?
But I'll tell you what, if I do ever go up in there, I'll let you know so you can watch C-SPAN. That'll be fun.
That would actually be super fun. Well, I would love to just flip on C-SPAN accidentally one day and be like, is that Joe? What?
Yeah.
What is going on? That would be something else. That would be something else. Scanner definitely seems like it's dried up. Wheeler really seems to be the only thing that's going on at the moment. Broadcom bouncing back above 140. I wonder if this has any more bounce juice in it.
Yeah, it looks like SPY trying to, put a bottom in here around the 547. But I want to see it get hammered lower. BENF. Sorry, go ahead.
Robin said he would vote for you. She would vote for you.
I appreciate that.
That is a endorsement. I love it.
I mean, if I'm getting enough support here, maybe I should get on the campaign trail.
Hey, gotta be better than what we've got now. That is for sure. In 13, we trust.
That would actually be a lot of fun. At the end of every speech or everything, I'd always give like my stock pick for the day. How about that?
That would actually, oh man, dude, you would be loved if you did something like that. Loved.
Sydney, I've been to the Vatican.
Guys, Wheeler is open. Is it going to go higher? 903 right now.
It's trying to decide, that's for sure.
It's trying.
And higher, it's trying to grind. 940 looks like the breakout spot.
We going to get it? We going to get it? Oh,
there it is.
Oh, we're going to go to 10.
And we're
go to 10. Let's go to 10.
It's going to halt.
What was the level you guys gave earlier? Was it 589? Because we're really close to that exact level that you gave, which is really impressive. And it's halted to the upside? Nope.
Fine, that's incredible. I'd like to learn more about the tribe you got there. All right, so Wheeler, this popped to 10, and now it's
above 10 now.
Yes,
it is above 10 now. Look out on Wheeler.
And SPY beneath 547 and trying to go lower. What a day!
What a day is right. What a day is right.
Shawshank mentioning T-Doc. This is a Kathy Wood special. This is up 3% right now. What's going on here? It doesn't look like this is moving quite a lot. I see that we're getting a little bit of up move. Let me look at a larger time frame here. Okay, so I see the appeal here on a larger time frame, like on a daily. It looks like it's trying to turn around. The thing I'd want to see is a recapture of that 50-day SMA, because ever since it dropped beneath it in February, it has not been able to get back above it. I want to see it recapture the 50-day SMA, and then we can probably have that conversation about how high it go.
Sorry, let me put this on a bigger chart so I can actually give you that visual aid. T-Doc, right?
Yes, sir.
Boop, boop, boop. Here you go. Here's your 50 that you were just talking about.
Yeah, so I would say that that needs to recapture the 50-day SMA, maybe a few closes over it, and then we can talk about how much upside this thing has. I think the company has it's a great idea, great theme, but I don't know much about the financials. I thought this company was losing money. Is that still the case? Yeah. Oh crap!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this company is not profitable.
13. I am going to step away for just 1 sec here. I'm going to should I leave it on Wheeler just in case, since that's the big one? Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. Just 1 sec.
All right. See you tomorrow. Anyway, Wheeler, this one's trying to push back into the 10 handle. And after we get that, I would think that, let's see, 1050 seems to be the next resistance spot. But this thing ran to 15, and what is this, pre-market? Yeah, pre-market this morning. So I think it was Crow that was saying 15. I still see that being a possibility. Might not get there too quick, but it could be something that ends up happening throughout the day. Maybe in the afternoon, it finally hits 15 or something. Still got some levels to work through, particularly this 10 level. We haven't had a close on the 5-minute chart above that level yet. Just traded above it and came back in, but you see some closes there. And then we have some consolidation up in the 11 handle area. What else are we looking at, folks? Seems like Syata still, this one has done absolutely nothing this morning. This kind of whipped around a bit. BENF still not able to recapture VWAP. This is now lower, trying to get support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. And BLMZ, this one this looks like it's starting to roll over a bit here. That's what the MACD is telling me. Might get some support from VWAP, which I currently have at 187, but it's not looking like it has a whole lot of strength right now. We might get an indication that it's going lower as soon as it loses 2. If that does not break out above the 215 and go higher to that that gap that I was talking about earlier between 230 and 252. Where is Nvidia going? Hopefully down. Overvalued stock. So I think a lot of folks are still waiting for 100. We might see some buying right around there, maybe a short-term bounce at 100. But for me personally, I don't know how long that lasts, but I don't think it lasts too long. I think we end up seeing under 100. I would think 90 is going to be the next spot that gets the most support, and that's just based on the daily chart. We have the 200-day SMA just beneath that at currently at 89.12. So I'd be looking at the 200-day SMA for support, and then we can figure out what happens once it gets there. Path at a new low, Neo up then down. Ugh. Let me see, look at Path here. So that had a little pop and drop. Now the thing about Path is that we were waiting to see if this was actually going to fill this gap that it put in back in May, and it was not able to do that. And I think there was a moving average that was in the way. Yeah, the 20-week SMA, if you have that on your charts, you can see that SMA was where the price traded up to yesterday and was rejected. So that's going to be the first level I think we need to get over to continue to fill that gap in Path. And that SMA is at 1402. Where's Alyssa? I think she's in the background.
I am in the background. What was that?
No, Alyssa. We know you're in the background.
My bad. What did I miss?
Oh, we were just talking about Path and
Wheeler came back to VWAP. What did Path do? That was it.
It's selling off. We were talking about why it's not filling the gap.
Dude, this was such a good short.
Yeah.
Why didn't you short it then?
There she is.
We did.
Call has been answered.
Path.
We did. Got a little bit of that earlier. Someone had puts on this too. But I'm just saying, look at the leg down this thing took. I mean, so the short here on Path here. Let's set it up. Let's set it up. We'll do it. Okay, here's your bottom of your pre-market channel. Here's the top end of the pre-market channel. Look what this thing did. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. We, boom, right out of the open, we sold off. We broke it. Then we back tested this level. We moved above VWAP. We actually went up to the top end of the range. This got sold into hard when we were watching this live. This moved right back down to and through this level that we have identified as the short trigger. This is the short close. But look at what happened. We got a bounce off 13 and we got a huge move down. This is the big move, not in this one, unfortunately.
Yeah. We were talking about how that 20-week SMA was where the price went up to and after hours and then just got rejected. So we're looking for where this where Path is going to end up going. And I think what I had was, let me put my daily chart out here. I think we're looking for these SMAs here, the 20 and the 50 as support. I don't think I mentioned that, but that's where the support would appear to be. And the reason why we didn't get that gap fill is because we ran into the 20-week SMA, which provided some pretty stiff resistance.
Oh, look at Fairchild. He's starting to get the smack talk rolling, getting snacks together for the game. Crispy fried eagle nuggets, eagle gumbo, eagle sandwiches, and eagle salad.
Very
he's a Packer fan. And he's saying he's gonna beat the Eagles so bad he's gonna make hors d'oeuvres out of them.
Ooh, we got a big old pop in SQQQ, which means the SPY.
The market's going down, dude.
Yep.
What did we say at the beginning, 13? Remind me, because I forgot.
Short it.
We talked about the SPY popping out of the open and then reversing, and how that was absolutely a potential here today.
Yep, and now we're heading towards the pre-market lows. I think the low of the pre-market was actually 545 and 37 cents. We're on the doorstep there. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. I'm in a mood today.
Yeah, you are. But hey, football's back. It's game day. We understand the good moods and the good vibes. Also a Friday.
We like Fridays.
Everyone likes Fridays.
BLMZ still not breaking down yet. Kind of hanging out round 2 in the 2 handle. Trying to push up to 215. Remember, we want to see that the close over 215, and that takes us up to 230, and gap fills into 252. That's what we're looking for here.
DC Mechanical, what does VWAP mean? It means volume weighted average price. So it basically draws an average price that considers the volume as well. Traders often use this for intraday support and resistance levels. I am a huge fan of the VWAP. It's arguably the biggest indicator that I use next to volume. Really good question.
Very important indicator for day trading.
Really important. Most day traders that I know, even just regular traders, use the VWAP in some capacity.
BLMZ is getting weak. Printed above 215 again. Could not hold that. Now we're headed lower. We might end up having to rely on VWAP right here for support. MACD not looking great too. Like this wants to also head lower.
Gerald saying you guys got me going on VWAP and I find it very useful. Well, awesome, Gerald. That is awesome.
And there's a lot of different ways you can use VWAP as an indicator, not just for a support or resistance level, but when you're trading underneath it and versus trading above it, there's different approaches to take about where the price is going to go and when it's going to reverse. So it's very
SPY here, by the way, next level I have probably 542 if we break down further here. We are at the lows on the SPY.
I have a previous all-time high of 544.12. This previous all-time high was put in, I'll get you the day. This was put in on June 12th. Look at all the fans Alyssa has.
Tons. Alyssa's a popular gal.
Thank you. From the shadow.
Hey, look, the shadows are working.
They are working.
Judge, take care of yourself. Have a great day and rest of your weekend. I know you're waiting for the Giants game on Sunday. Good luck, Judge. Appreciate all you do. Always appreciate your positive attitude, by the way. That is something I absolutely love. Take care of yourself, Judge.
Jay Summers, I've never seen Spy Hard. I've never seen it.
That was a Leslie Nielsen movie.
Someone clip that.
It's a Leslie Nielsen movie, and it's not his greatest work. It was kind of one of the not the better ones. I think the Naked Gun and Airplane movies were much better with him.
I wasn't even born yet when that came out. Nice. Nice.
You don't even know who Leslie Nielsen is.
No, you said the name right over my head.
I think he's worth looking into. I think you'll be pleasantly pleased with how funny that man is.
Don't ever call me Shirley.
Yeah. Look at the SQQQ. This thing is just taking off. Love to see it.
Sorry, I was dealing with some work stuff. Let me bring up SQQQ. It has finally worked. I tell you what, these are good traders if you can time them, but boy, oh boy, timing them can be difficult. Airplane is a classic. Don't even think they could make that movie anymore, but indeed it is.
Lewis, VWAP, VWAP.
What are you saying?
Well, he was saying that he doesn't find VWeb as an indicator.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to clarify for him that what he wants to look for.
Victor Whiskey Alpha Papa VWAP. What was that, Alyssa? I'm sorry.
I'm laughing at Jay Summers' comment. The Dark Overlord of VWAP is Brian Shannon.
Yeah, he is. He is the overlord of VWAP, period. Brian Shannon is awesome. Big special thanks to him coming on here, by the way. And if you want to learn more about VWAP, you should check out Brian Shannon's book. Also talks about the anchored VWAP, where you get to anchor that price point, that starting price point, as opposed to having a continuously calculating line.
So it looks like BLMZ doesn't want to stay down. Still going sideways here between 2 and 215, trying to break out. And we're still waiting for SYTA to, do something. Hell, it could break down for all I care. Just get out of this channel.
Okay, so Wheeler here. Wow. So we just had that big impulse move there. And look, guys, so when we talk all the time about, we were just talking about VWAP, volume indicators. Look at the volume. Volume is proving again to be the indicator to watch here. Oh, look at the sell-off on Wheeler.
Yeah, but I think it's worth mentioning that we need to kind of temper expectations with Wheeler and just be patient, because this could still make a move later on in the day.
Yeah,
and say that it will, but look what happened yesterday, and halfway through the day, it had the pop. Totally possible that this could happen today.
Bingo. And off that initial impulse move 13, we came in considerably from it, kind of like what we're doing here. Now that happened a little bit later in the morning, but you're right.
Thank you, Ray, for mentioning it. BLMZ, it did the thing. It pushed through 215, got us up to that gap, almost filled it, got as high as 247 before we pulled back in. That was fast, but that's what we were looking for here. Hopefully somebody y'all caught that trade.
Oh, I did not, but awesome. This worked.
And SQQQ continues to grind higher. See the SPY trying to retest that 545.18 level. We don't close above that in about 15 minutes. I think we're going to test 544.12. What a great move.
Oh, yeah. You guys, Chicago Realtor, you think you were asking about this a number of times. Lynn and Randy just reminded me. Sorry for not getting to this earlier. You were asking about Walgreens. You're a Chicago realtor, so you're definitely familiar with Walgreens. Anyone that is anywhere around Chicago has spent a lot of time and money in Walgreens. Walgreens has resolved many emergencies for Chicagoans. But I'm with Lynn and Randy here. This is your daily chart of the stock. This company, despite being a Chicago institution, has really, really done poorly. I think you could probably day trade this, maybe. I am not looking to kind of buy this and scale into an investment here.
Well done, Webcoin. I'm glad you got a piece of that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's still looking like it may end up getting 552. This thing has some strength right now, but there is a big wall of seller, BLMZ.
Bloomz.
Yeah, there's a seller that's just got his order out there and he keeps pushing it down, sending the price down lower. Eventually, that's going to all get chewed through, and then we might end up going higher. Okay, so that's all gone now. Now let's see if it can push higher into the 240s up to 252.
By the way, as Bloomz continues to push here, SPY continues to come in.
Chicago Realtor with a question about Petco, and I kind of would leave that to you, Ryan, because I know that Chewy was good, and I don't know that we're going to necessarily see the same movement with Petco, being that they're more brick and mortar.
Yeah, I don't have any love for this. I don't love this chart. I don't really use the company anymore. I pretty much just use Chewy.
BLMZ just hit the target.
There's a PetSmart, I guess, that in an emergency, a brick and mortar PetSmart that I could go to. What I would estimate in my yearly spending on pet supplies, it's probably close to 5%, maybe even less than that. I don't have any bullish view here on this. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do for earnings, but no, I wouldn't be interested in this at all.
BLMZ did. I think I'd be done with this at this point because it hit all the targets. This could still go higher. It could do whatever it wants at this point, but for the purpose of the plan that I would have on this one, it filled that gap, and I would consider myself done with this trade. But you folks, if you guys see anything different and you think there's still more meat left on this bone, by all means, gnarl on it. But I think the LMZ might be finished.
Gnarl on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, that's like gnar kill, isn't it?
I don't know. I just say the first. There's a Q in my vocabulary. The first word got the spot. Okay.
Q.
A Q in my vocabulary. Yeah. Yeah, when you have a whole range of words you can use, and the next one that you queue up, and anyway, that's the word that came out. Deal with it.
Christopher here. Anyone around Chicago should know who Abe Froman is, the Sausage King, of course. Of course. Awesome that you know that.
All right, looks like SYTA actually might be starting to choose a direction, and that
I don't even have it on my scanner.
Down. Good morning, Joel.
Morning, Joel.
And Shaka mentioning MCRB. I don't think we've even talked
I don't think we've looked at that yet today, have we?
It's up 20%.
Oh, that was a penny stock. Did this pop on news or something? Huge volume spike in there.
Let's see what.
Nothing fresh here from today. Wonder what's going on there.
Unless the news just hasn't hit yet. I don't know what this Form F. I don't necessarily think that's going to have anything to do with it. What's the short interest on this? 15% with 3.65 days to cover. Maybe there's a little bit of a squeeze. Float is heavy, 109 million shares. So there's something going on here to move that kind of supply. There must be some news coming out that some traders got to before we did. So wait and see what comes out of this one. Don't know why it's moving, but it's up 20% exactly.
We do it daily, Brandon. We do.
Love it, Alyssa. Looking out here for the chat. Yes, every day that the market is open, you can expect to see us bloviating about stocks and I guess sports and culture, you could say as well. We'd love to have you, Brandon.
I'm very rarely on stage too, just in the back.
Yeah, but when you do but that's the thing, Alyssa. When you come out of the shadows, it's like awesome all the time. I mean, whether it's coming out with giveaways or coming out with one-liners or teaching us about, the way things are done and said nowadays when us boomers don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you do here that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
All right. Well, here we go with Bloomz. We're going to see if that level that I had is it, or if it's going to go higher.
Lion, let's be nice to our newer members here. Okay. Let's be nice. Let's at least welcome them in before you start making jokes.
Yeah, we gotta ease into that with everybody we bring in here. But You can lay into me all you want.
I was just gonna say some people here are up on their joke game. Y'all know who you are out there. Y'all know who you are out there, including me and 13. We love to joke around. So I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
You're not a boomer, Ryan. She's right. She's right.
I mean,
regardless of his dream.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, is that really though? I mean,
okay, compared to like an actual boomer, you can be talked to.
Yeah, but don't I say boomer things? Don't I do boomer?
Sometimes, but like
there you go.
You're like to be honest, I'm a boomer to like the younger kids now, so like yeah.
Yeah, but I'm 40.
They need to learn cohorts. Opiating and gnarl, college level trading here. Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
We're bloviating and gnarling on stocks. That's
no, the college level trading. I don't get it.
Oh, because we're using a higher level vocabulary.
Oh, that's considered hell yeah, that's considered higher level. Let's go. Gnarl. Gnarl's kind of any word with GN in it. Hey, Bane, gnarl. I don't know.
Nat.
If you say your boomer things, you are not. Oh, okay. Well then, Amanda confirmed.
You're aware.
Oh, you are going to hate this. You're actually an older millennial. So I know what class. I know when I was born, and I know what bucket I classically
like
fit
a
into. But I don't know. That's why I prefer Lord Ryan to boomer, millennial, any of that stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's why you buy it, land in Scotland, folks. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. You weren't born in the 1950s. Confirmed. Fact check accurate. Thanks, Becca.
What if I was born to somebody in the 90s?
Voodoo setting the record straight here. Ryan, I'm a boomer. I'm 70 going on 71. There you go.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way and ironed out.
Hey, we're having fun here. Wheeler, by the way, broke down. We'll see if it actually breaks its intraday low. I think that, so we talked about this maybe being ready later on in the day. I would be concerned if it broke this intraday low, and even more so concerned if it then took out the pre-market low.
At this point, 675 looks like the strongest case for support. Looks like, oh man, looks like BLMZ is trying to gear up to go higher. Not sure.
Which one? BLMZ? Bloomz again? Yeah. I shouldn't even ask you. I should just know it's Bloomz. It's either been Bloomz or Wheeler today.
Yeah, it's just, it looks like it's setting up to go higher. I don't know how much higher it's going to go. Keep in mind that this thing is not a very old stock. It came out in July. And if we were going to keep moving up to the IPO highs or whatever this was, we're looking at 430. So another $2 from here, basically. Don't know if that's what we're going to see today, but if we are going to break out above this level, let's say 280 is the next upside target. We'll just say for fun, funsies.
Okay. Funsies.
Mm-hmm. College level trading. Funsies.
Oh, I gotcha. We'll just keep rolling with the jokes. I do think that 3 is going to be an area here for Bloomz eventually if we get back up there. There was a lot of consolidation around there.
Oh, look, MCRB now heading higher.
256, yeah. MCRB is actually on the relative volume scanner now as well.
It went up from 20% now to 40%. Not sure why. Where is this company even from?
MCRB?
No, yeah.
It's operating in the United States.
Okay. Okay, so this is a going after
alts there,
colon treatments. Here we go. Now we have the news. Traders circulate unconfirmed M&A blog comments suggesting Nestle has offered to acquire the company for $750 million or $6 to $6.50 a share. That's a ways away from here. You guys want to take a stab at this?
Unconfirmed M&A blog comments. Well, we do talk about buy the rumors, sell the news.
Okay.
Ryan, you take care of yourself, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Take care, Lion. Have a good weekend. Yeah, I don't know.
Joel, we cannot tell you what to do with your funds. We cannot tell you to sell or buy, man. You're going to have to figure that one out on your own. Sorry, my dude.
I've always had a bad habit of holding on and then losing everything. Like holding on.
You mean the gains that, any gains that you have? Yeah. Look, one of the things that 13 and I have been saying recently, especially, we actually talked about this yesterday, just as kind of like a general thing, is like when you get profits in a move, especially if it's like a short term, or like if you don't have a long-term convicted thesis and plan on something and you get gain, don't be afraid to take those gains, or at least some of those gains, because I mean, even just look at today. Like we're talking about some of these smaller stocks which have their own inherent risk. Jay Rice outlined that earlier. But look at like something like the SPY. Like look at this reversal. This happens. This is part of what the market is. So if you're doing short-term trading and you're getting gains, it's never a bad idea to book them, or at least book partial of them if you think there's still meat on the bone for the trade. A lot of this comes down to your plan though, right?
Yes.
See you, J. Michael.
Take care, J. Michael. Have a good weekend.
Amanda, this is actually a really smart thing here too, regarding the leveraged ETFs. If you haven't read all the literature about the leveraged ETFs, maybe you don't invest in them. We talk about these leveraged ETFs a lot on this show and on Happy Hour as well. Got to know how these things work. If you're going to buy these, even if you're only going to buy them for 5 minutes, got to know how these things work. Got to know about the degradation process, how it relates to whatever asset it's tied to. Got to know how these work. This is a really, really smart piece of advice right here.
As you know, as you should with all stocks you're trading, understand the risk. That's it. Just understand the risk every time you hit and buy or sell. Otherwise, it's gambling. Yeah, MCRB. This could be really interesting if it does end up running to 6.
Retraced half of its move off that open there.
Markets overall in the toilet. Game over for the day. I mean, if you're playing the right side of it, no. I would say no.
Whoever mentioned Lumen earlier, sorry to interrupt you, 13.
No worries, no worries.
Lumen is breaking higher here. This has actually been a fairly decent back and forth trader for us as well. Seeing more Tesla puts come across the wire as that continues to pound new lows.
For Lumen, this is trying to make its way over the 20-day SMA. It was rejected yesterday and last week as well after falling beneath it, trying to recapture. If it does, there's a small gap to fill. It's about 10 cents, but there is one there. So there, you could see some upside. Remember, this has a large float, so don't know how easy it's going to be to get up to certain levels here, or if it can even hold the 20-day SMA. But that's the first thing I'd want to see with this is a close above that 20-day SMA.
More really good stuff here from the group. Robert saying, never kick yourself for missing more gains. That's just greed. Jay Rice, I love this. Correct, Robert. I'll add, never let a winner turn into a loser. You've seen that here, right? You've seen, we've done some of these day trades here. They end up popping. 13, we had an entire discussion one day, I feel like recently, about using trailing stops to protect some of those gains once your trade goes green. All of that stuff. All of that is really, really good. You can apply that to a lot of different things out there.
Yeah.
A lot of different trades, I suppose I should say.
All right. So far, not looking like, I mean, it might just need some time, MCRB. But so far, VWAP's kind of holding it down. But, the news is solid and it's, the rumor confirms to be true. Well, this thing's probably headed to 6 then. Yeah. New update on that? Nope. Still the same news.
So Wheeler didn't break down, so that might still be in play for another run. Just keep it on the back burner, no position there.
Yep. BLMZ, that's still trying to push up through that gap fill area, 552. And
Glenn mentioning Intel. I know we talked about that a little bit earlier. I wonder what Intel's done. Did we go? Yep, lower we go. Remember, we had mid to low teens flagged here for any of you that were looking for Intel.
Looking good. Could be, it's going to be a good stock one day in the future. Just couldn't, really say how soon that's going to be. But being that they benefit from the CHIPS Act and they're kind of a big player now in U.S. national security, we'll be seeing this one stick around for some time.
Yeah, so Replay Game Labs here. So it feels like the jobs report pointed to a stronger economy, leading to only a 25-point moving in September, leading to a pullback to more reasonable valuations. Okay, so a lot there that a lot has to go in order. The one thing I will say is our group has been discussing how the market could sell off after the rate cut is actually takes place. And one of their longer-term traders who's been doing this for a long time says markets generally don't bottom until, what was it, 13? Till how many rate cuts? What was the stat?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember offhand, and I don't want to screw it up. So I take full responsibility for this one. But basically, the market is likely not going to bottom until several rate cuts are actually out. It's going to take time for the market to bottom. And so, go ahead.
It also takes some time for such rate, decisions like cuts or raises to actually make its way through the economy, 9 to 12 months. So some of these effects we're not going to be seeing right away.
Yep. To your other part here, I think it would be 25. I don't see them going 50 in the first one, really, in any capacity there. So I think that probably will be a 25. And like I said, we're hoping that the pullback in the broader market, the one that we've been kind of waiting for and talking about, we're hoping that resets a lot of valuations on names. Here, Ankit saying, I would disagree that it points to a stronger economy. It was a mixed bag. The jobs added were way lower than expected. And the other thing I would point out there is, remember, we've been seeing a ton of revisions on some of these numbers. Let's wait for those revisions before we draw any really long-term conclusions.
Yeah, and we get CPI and PPI next week ahead of the next rate decision. So that could also affect whether or not it's going to be a 25 or 50 basis point cut. All right, so seems like Syata just not great. That hasn't really done anything. Probably just going to take it off my screen. BLMZ, it's still trying to make that push up. I mean, if it can't get through it on this 5-minute candle, I think that it's going to come back into VWAP.
This has taken out its highs several times.
Yeah. Just like the SQQQ has just been the big winner here for me.
Yeah.
And I even was saying yesterday in happy hour, with the whole AVGO thing being a big component of the Qs, I think that the SQQQ would be a really good trade for the opposite side of that. So far, this is working out really well.
Yep. And we had people buying that yesterday, I believe. Maybe even in the after hours when we were on that call.
They're smart.
Easy Mike saying short that Dow.
Yeah, and Chris Biscuit, that's one of the things that I think we're kind of getting a misleading read on with these job reports is the number of government jobs that there are. Because if a new administration comes in, you're going to see a big change in that, and I think it's completely inflating these job numbers.
Bro puts on everything, says Gerald. You love to see it. You love to see. I look across my screen and I see a lot of things just kind of going off here. Just really kind of selling off here.
Replay
Can't
game.
say that I'm just
about zombie rollups. You want to grab that one? I'm going to take a look at the queues for part.
Can I ask about zombie rollups? Shouldn't that happen more before a bottom? I don't even know what you're referencing.
So
sorry, man.
For the queues, I would think that we are going to test a 200-day SMA, which I have at 441.39. So as far as 490 holding, maybe temporarily. I don't know about the rest of the day. I think we go lower. How's the Zim position? I don't have one anymore. How's it doing? Oh, wow. This is some opportunities. Cool. This has a triple top. Look at that. I haven't looked at this in a little while, my man. Wow. That's a
Where's
nice
the buy area here? This is at 1550.
Well, I would have said that at first, but seeing as how that the resolution of this could end up being lower, I would maybe say somewhere closer to 13. I'm not a buyer of this at the moment. I did mention that they do their contract negotiations in like the first half of the year, and I don't think that they're doing any more for the rest of the year. So if rates continue to go up, I don't think they're going to see necessarily a reflection of that. And they had said in one of their earnings previously that they expect the second half of their year to be more like 2023. And if you recall, it was that was a bad back half of the year for them last year. So I think that we're probably going to end up seeing this go down some more. Don't know. Don't really have a buy level yet, but I would think it's going to be a little bit further down than this. But this was a great trade. This had a lot of. We were on the right theme at the right time. I know some of you guys made a lot of money on this. I'm really happy about that. But right now, this thing needs to come in some more. And look at that, BLMZ putting in new highs, 276. Now the new intraday high.
Ankit mentioning TLT. You were talking about that for several days here.
Yep.
Congrats on that. Well, actually, we can give you a register. I don't know if you closed them. We'll give you a 1-up. What the hell?
Yeah, Crow's absolutely right. Wheeler was up a lot yesterday, and it could come back down just as quickly and easily. Bear in mind, this is, the float on this one is under 1 million. It's 941,000 shares. So when people want to get out of it, they're going to get out of it quick. Yeah, see, Voodoo's in a lot of air back down to 10. I can see that. I just think we need to wait and be patient with Zim if we're going to start doing that again. And Sideshow asking, Amanda asking about Costco, and Sideshow T asking about what do you use to get the news of a possible purchase of MCRB at 6? I use Benzinga Pro. That's where it showed up for me. That's where I got the information. Amanda, let me look at Costco for you.
And real quickly here, this is what he's talking about, Sideshow. This was the rumor. I have my rumors highlighted in pink so they really stand out. But this is what he's talking about. This is what we use for all of our idea generation on this show from start to finish.
So, Amanda, with Costco, we're losing the 20-day SMA right now. We tried to lose it yesterday, but it recaptured. So I would think at this point we're looking at a test of the 50, which actually puts it in a pretty nice area because if you look to the left, you can see that at about somewhere in the 850s. They're like almost to the 860. Let's call it 858. Okay, just for fun. That looks like that may have been a resistance at one point, and then it turned support. So now it's support. I also have the 50-day SMA at 586. So I'd say, somewhere in the middle of the 580 handle, you're probably going to end up seeing some support temporarily. Whether or not it holds, I can't say. It does look like this is poised to go lower based on the MACD. So I don't know, and I don't necessarily think it will hold the 50-day SMA, but you're probably going to get some temporary support from that.
So add Costco on weakness. It's simple for me. Add Costco on weakness.
Yeah, and we were talking about Costco and Walmart potentially being a couple of the biggest beneficiaries of a recession, a weakening consumer, as they apparently have some of the best price points.
Tom saying, what do you guys think about Adobe for an earnings play? The options are very expensive. Tom, it's almost as if you know what the schedule here is like, because pretty soon we're going to have Anne Marie on, and you know what we can do? We can ask her about that. We can see what she says about that. Let's see if maybe we get you a free trade whipped up. Take care of yourself. Lynn, missed that. Sorry.
Take care, Lynn. With Adobe, you can draw a
Awesome
trend.
to see, Robert. Awesome to see.
You can draw a trend line from the November 2021 high through the January 2024 high, and that would be the resistance trend line to get over. We did just do a golden cross
On what are we talking about?
Adobe, and so it's possible that we may end up getting up to somewhere just slightly north of 600, like maybe 620, but I just can't say for sure because I don't like the way that the price action has been over the past couple of months. It looks like a double top almost. So for me, I think I would want to see the price hold above 550 and then try to break out of that 580 level where it was getting resistance. But I can't really give you an idea of how soon that's going to happen or what the best entry is. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing right now, and it seems like that double top is kind of telling you that there might be some more downside before there's upside. But if there is upside, I'd be looking at 620.
I think that this would probably find support at the 200-day, but we will ask Anne-Marie. 13, any closing words for the weekend? You want to give your team a shout out here?
Oh, absolutely. All my Packers fans, have a great time this afternoon, actually. And we'll see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe.
Despite there being a full slate of games on Sunday, we will both be back here bright and early on Monday. We thank 13 for everything that he does. Have a great weekend. 13's departure, of course, leaves room for the one and only Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, how are you doing today? Let me ask you, are you as excited as us two dorks about football being back?
Actually, I would be a sports widow if I were not excited about sports. Okay. So it was 25 years ago. He said, get on the bandwagon or be lonely. So
we're glad you're on that bandwagon. Tom, go Bears. Bears. All right.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
Green Bay have some of the nicest fans in the whole wide world. I went to Lambeau Field, super cold, was pulling for the other team, and still everybody great, well behaved. Philly fans, not so much.
Okay. All right. Shots early here. I got to ask you, that Lambeau Field trip that you were just referencing, who was the opposing team?
Oh my gosh. You know, I was thinking about the game. It was an opening day game, and I had it and it fell out. And I think it was either Chicago. Who was it?
I'm saying
I don't
the
remember.
Packer fans that I met are not all that nice to Chicago Bears fans. Just saying.
Yeah.
But hey, Amanda, actually, on a larger point here, we are Midwest nice here. And
Yes.
Anne-Marie, I know
We
you're
love
familiar with the Midwest. I will say some of the nicest people that I have ever come across have come from the Midwest. It doesn't matter if it's Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, doesn't matter. They're the best.
Yeah,
So
I know. I'm with you. I love Michigan. My husband hates the cold, but I love Michigan and Wisconsin people and the whole bunch, you're so on. But we have some super things to talk about. The one thing, we'll go to Adobe, but I want to talk about the ways that the Zscaler position would have worked out, or we're still continuing in the work for this one. But if you will recall, last time we were together before, maybe it was maybe almost a week ago, we put on a Zscaler, a double butterfly, and the put side really delivered, but it delivered all the way to the edge, which is why we have the October, because we want to know if it collapses, it's going to have that region to bounce back into the range, and it's going to give us a good payday. Now, someone else said, why wouldn't you buy the long iron condor or something like that was either call spread or put spread? And we talked about how expensive that was. So as you know, in trading, there's always a thread, a little bead that moves risk and reward in the same spaces. And if it moves in your favor, the long iron condor, which was about $5 when we spoke, it's up 50% from that space, while the put butterfly is only up about, well, it's actually up about 75%, but it's not giving us the big payday that we're looking for, and it's because it slipped. So time is also our friend here. So that being said, this is where we're at. For anyone that might be interested on taking a post-earnings trade in Zscaler, I actually have one set up, and I shared it several days ago with the Benzinga Pro members, but it's still got some premium in there that's pretty nice if you're interested. And the delta, meaning the probability that it ends up in the money, is only 6%. So it's got about a 94% win rate sitting on it as it sits right now. So I thought it'd be pretty nice to share.
Awesome.
And that is the October. Let me hold that right there. Yeah, it's the October 175, 180, 150, 145 short iron condor. And what you want to do is watch this erode until you get about a 50% return. And then you don't want to be greedy. 50%, that's actually huge. But
pretty good.
About, yeah, in the option spaces, we always look at bigger numbers. And that would be a really nice trade during the noise. One thing before we jump into everything, I want to share with everyone what happens when the VVIX, which is the volatility of the VIX, and the VIX itself all begin to trend in the same direction. Here is the VVIX, and here is the VIX. You can see they're very sharp upwards. You're going to see a heat map that looks almost everybody is moving in the same space. So note to self, when you're thinking about things, say, hey, listen, if my VIX is spiking or if it's collapsing really hard, we're going to see the heat map relatively the same color, right? And so we're seeing a lot of red today as the VIX is spiking. So that being said, that's where we are. Let's go ahead and hop into, I want to talk about the Broadcom trade, because that was one that we had looked at. And Amanda reminded everyone, and that one is going to pay very nicely, because look at how we are moving right into this early September position. This thing is up over 150%, probably closer to 200 if I'm doing the math the right way. I think it was about 70% on one side. If you'd bought both, it's up about 100%. So that, a nice win in the overnight, dropping right into our ranges. What you could do for those of us that have taken it, and I'll describe this much more deeply in the midday money ball for the Benzinga Pro members, we're going to triage this, and we're going to actually take the majority of profit out of the put side and then roll that short put area into someplace potentially. We want to see the VIX sort of bottom out or top out, as it were, into the afternoon. So that one looks really, really good. We've got another nice winner on our hands. So now let's look at Adobe.
Okay.
One of the gents said, hey, listen, the options look kind of expensive. The vol it's not bad. I like it. Implied volatility overall is about 45, which is not bad. And the price is a good price. So this does give us an opportunity to position. And so I'm going to move this into these spaces here. And then we're going to go look at the chart. And we're going to pop up the weekly formation, and we're going to see what's going on. Okay, the highest volume bar over the last 10 days, interestingly enough, gives us a price point of 558. And so we're probably going to come in, kiss that area, and maybe into 550. But let's see what the ATR is for the week. Let's go to the weekly chart. Remember, that's what you want to do. You want to put a 14-day simple. You're going to see it's about $33 for the week. This looks super sideways to me. Okay, so this is a 30, this is a 14, and that 30 is really flat. So downside pressure is what I'm anticipating. And if Adobe comes in, they raise their prices across the board. They charge a lot more for commercial seats than they have in the last year. And, you know, they pretty much have people over a barrel because certainly from big companies, Adobe is it. What else is there? And so they're holding that. It would be nice for some good competition to come in there, just being the capitalist that I am. It would be nice
I'm with you 100% on that. I've thought that a lot about Adobe.
Oh, it would be nice to have other competition. So from a weekly perspective, we've got 580 at the top edge, and down here, maybe 500 looks like a sweet spot. And of course, that middle event is kind of where we're looking at, and that's, you know, somewhere around 530, right? That's a retracing of these 4 very big weeks coming into earnings. So let's take a look at what happens when these charts come into earnings after big fades or bounces. I find this to be very interesting. So let's go back a little bit. This one bounces right sharply into earnings. Earnings come out, flatland. That's the one thing we don't want to see for 4 weeks, but then it breaks out. So it tells me we need to have 5 to 6 weeks minimum on our option chains for us to anticipate any kind of motion, because they don't usually sit sideways for a really long time unless this disaster happens. And then we should have a spike to be able to get out. The big thing, remember, the middle strike. You set an alert for it. And when it comes in there, you go, I got to get out of here. Because you can see if it moves sideways, it will wake up into areas that we like, but it will also collapse. So that's something super important to remember. Okay, so we've got $33. We have earnings coming. What is that? The 12th I have.
That is next Thursday. Correct.
Looks very good. So we've got that. Let's go over here and let's see what the traders are saying. So this is 42 days. Forgive me. Not sure what's going on there with the old throat. So 42 days puts us right at the edge of about 5.5 weeks. Not ideal, but we'll see what happens, right? And so right now, although the ATR is 33, the option chains have priced almost twice that amount. So the keen eye that said, hey, the options are kind of expensive, spot on. They really, really are. And so let's take a look at this ATR, which is 33 points away. So let's go to 590. We'll go 590 to 600 to 610. Whoa, not okay. I don't know if you saw that, but it was a credit at the first pass.
Yep. And then it
and then it popped to debit. So, but nice and cheap. Pretty cheap.
What would you do with your order? Because you've talked a lot about when you have some of these where the cost of the butterfly bounces around, you like to put your order out there and wait for it to get filled. What would you do in a situation like this?
Well, it's not until next Wednesday, correct?
Thursday, I believe, the 12th. Let me look at it. I think it's Thursday's the 12th after hours.
Okay, so I would say put it in there for like a nickel today and see if it fills. We've got low volume, so it might have to sit there for a while. If you desperately want it to fill, you know what? Put 75 cents in there, right? Something.
I mean, look how much it's bouncing around. It was just down at 10 cents, went to 96 cents on the debit side.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that happens because of the low volume. And so if you take it at market, the market maker is going to have his way with you. And we usually don't want market makers having their way with us.
We want the opposite.
So we're going to look at somewhere around that, maybe 75 cents. If you really want to get there, you probably could get it easily from around then. But I would say, since we have so much time, put it in there for a nickel or a dime and see what happens. Maybe
use patience to your favor in this case. Be as patient as
Exactly.
possible. Absolutely.
Exactly. So the next one up would be 530 to 520 to 510. And that's going for a nickel. And so I think we've got some, again, very low volume. So what Amanda has said in times past, and given Amanda the big head, what she said in times past is, hey, listen, in order to get in, sometimes I've had to separate the orders out, and I will do it by spreads. I will first buy the 590, 600 by itself, and then I will sell the 600, 610. Now, what you want to do is make sure that you have your little calculator out, so your net is going to be giving you something interesting there. And so let's see how that prices out here. If we have the 590, 600, and then we have the 600, 610. Did I do that right?
I think you have 4 on there.
Nope. Yeah, sorry. Let's try that again. Okay, this was a back ratio. So, all right, 590, 600.
Yep.
That's 308. And then 600, 610. That's 320. It's going for a nickel right now.
There you go.
Right? And then it slips around and gives you something else. So just try to wiggle your way around that if you want to step in from a leg perspective, right? You go long first, and then you take the short one on so they don't clutter up your margin events. And that'll give you what you're looking for. So if you desperately want it to fill, which I think this is actually a really good chart, you know, easily I see it coming down into these lower levels.
Yeah.
Easily. We just have markets that are a little messy right now. So I like that trade very much. Actually, I'm probably going to share it with the members today as well, because I do like it very, very much.
The butterfly or the vertical?
Oh, the butterflies.
The butterfly.
The butterflies, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So there you go. I think, was that Tom that was asking? Let me make sure I got that right there. Pretty sure. Yeah, that was Tom V. Tom, let me know if that is what you were looking for and if that's helpful. And Anne-Marie, we got 12 minutes. So if we got another stock that we want to set some trades up for, we can do that. I would say we can go to the chat here. Do you have one in mind?
Well, we have, let's see where the pricing is here. Let me see. Hang on. Prices.
Yeah, I was
we have Oracle. Oracle also is going to be reporting. So let's have a peek.
Okay, let's do Oracle. Tom says thank you. Tom, you're welcome. Anne-Marie, thank you.
My pleasure. So Oracle's also going to be reporting next week. They will report on the 9th. So that's Monday. Yeah.
ORCL. Oh, you were asking me about the date there. Sorry. Yes. Monday is the 9th. Oracle is the 9th after market. So you're going to have Monday in order to get filled there.
Yes. Okay. So the ATR here is $7. And we are, whoa, Microsoft just lost 400. What? That is the middle strike of one of our butterflies. I don't know if you guys saw that alert there. So we have Microsoft butterfly in the works. All right. $7. Okay. Well, it looks a little rangy, but seven might be okay. 7 to the downside, put us right on the edges. Let's see what happens with earnings. That is direction of earnings. Look at that. Into the week of earnings and then fell right off a cliff. So if we have one of these, both sides of the butterfly will work for us. Yeah. So let's see how much the option traders are actually charging If we go to October, much more volume here. They are charging us $15, so almost twice the expected move. So, all right, if we go 10, no, that's about yeah, let's play for the outsized move here. And let's go 150 to 155 to 160. Now, Anne-Marie, why is your spread only $5 wide? Because I'm going for the outsized move. So if it moves outsized, it's going to go up into this 55 area, which is the full $15 that the market makers have priced. So if they're right, everybody's going to lose except for us who came in on the cheap. If it comes right into 55, all of these folks that buy $2 options, they're going to be out of luck, right? They're going to lose all of that if it comes into that space. So that's why I'm doing it wide, because we're going with what the market makers are saying versus what the ATR is saying, if that makes sense. So we'll go to 125 to 120 to 115. Okay, and there's the double butterfly for Oracle.
And that's really cheap.
Yeah, really cheap. So we're getting in about 70 cents, and we'll have about $4.30 potential upside for motion here in the market. And we're giving it time to do its thing. So let's say it comes in, let's say it rockets up to 150, okay? It rockets all the way up there to 150, and then it gives us a topping tail. We know that we're going to have to get out of that. We'll stay in the put side, though, because if it fades, it can come all the way down to the bottom of the bar, and that will put us at that 125, 120 area, and this will also give us a fair bit of profit. So, my thought would be maybe 4 or 5 of these at the most. And so, you're looking for the percentage hits, the percentage rewards, not the gross dollar amounts. If you start thinking about the gross dollar amounts, you're going to lever up, and that's going to get you into trouble. Just small clips, percentage-wise, if you're making 150, 90, 250% with each one of these, and you're only losing 50%, over the long run, you will be trending with a portfolio balance that moves up and to the right.
Really good advice there, Anne-Marie. Okay, we actually have 6 minutes. Is there anything else that you want to cover? I don't think we got any other suggestions. That Oracle trade will work well.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, there
sure.
were a number of users talking about different VIX products earlier today.
Yes.
Do you ever use any of these option strategies on some of those VIX products? The reason I ask is because you can often get some outsized moves there, but I'm just wondering if this is ever something that you've looked at.
So, trading the VIX is very interesting.
I suck at it, just
It
FYI.
can be very good and then very bad. So here is my thought. When the VIX is high, don't buy. The VIX is more likely to collapse than it is to expand, unless we're in some sort of tail event. And if we're in a tail event, then all bets are off for everything anyway, right? So the thing that I would say is, let's take a look at the VXX. All right. So notice, you see what I mean about this, how this thing's just trended down. and down, and every single bounce has given us a couple of weeks and then a collapse,
Yep.
right? And so my thought would be, give it some time and see if you can sell that 60, sell the 60. Whoa, look at that. You could drive a bus.
I was going to say that spread is huge. That's $2 spread. Volume.
Yeah.
No, there's no volume.
Yeah, and that is absolutely crummy. Yeah, because if you sell the 165 and then buy the 66, look at you're going to get about a nickel on the spread, and that's just not worth it.
And that's even if your order gets filled, right? You might not even, depending on how you set that up, you might not even get filled on that.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not a fan of these instruments to trade. I think you've got to have a lot of quantitative data to do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, you just have to play the probabilities over and over and over and over and over again. And that's I don't love it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a frustrating game for me. And that's one of the reasons why I've stopped trading VIX products. I've often joked that I've donated way too much money to the VIX cause.
Absolutely.
So that's just not something that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else that you want to cover here real quick?
No, I do want to, I want to warn everyone, not warn, but make you be alert to the fact that when there's a sea of red like this, don't go out looking for longs just yet. If you think to yourself, well, wait a second, what's actually going on? Just pop the VIX up in the corner and put it on, a 15-minute chart and have a peek. And if you are looking at higher highs and higher lows like this, now the VIX does normally peak at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Between 12 and 1, it'll peak and then fade and then rise again. Take a look at yesterday's formation.
Mm-hmm.
See the rise and then the collapse. And so that is normally what happens intraday. But September is a wonky month. And so these fades could give us another candlestick like this. So if you're looking for value, it's better to wait for the VIX to collapse and show you a topping formation. And then maybe you can look for intraday buys or something like that. And if you're short, when it starts getting really toppy like that, you want to start trimming you want to start trimming your position. So like SPY right now, right? We were looking at that 42. The VIX could be telling us, hey, we might get ourselves a little lull right here. Of course, it's still going to tell us that the bounce is a sell zone because of the overall formation. But that's just something about the market internals that you can use as you trade through the rest of the day.
Awesome. One question here. Emiliola is asking, what indicators do you like the most? Just for like your charting.
Okay, so what I have here is the VWAP. Okay, and I have
That's what I'm talking about.
30, and then I have a 14. What do I look at mostly? I look at the VWAP. I look at momentum, but really it's all about price. You can make life so much easier on yourself if you just look to the left and go, wait, what if the candles nearby told me that they are in the process of doing? And the candlesticks will tell you, hey, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high. Oh, I need to be selling. So let me look for a bounce and a sell, or the loss. You look to the level and you go, all right, well, if I lose this zone, I should stay short. And look at where this bounce came, right up into that zone. And then it collapsed right off of it.
Yeah.
And so looking to the left will always tell you what is going on. Having that mindset of going, all right, well, the VIX is about to make its high. that usually is an inverse of what's happening. So maybe I'll see a bottoming formation here. And a bottoming formation, what does it look like? You know what? I stop going lower, I bounce, and then I pull back and hold a higher low, and then Bob's your uncle. And then you know where your stop is. Risk is defined. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome stuff. Perfect timing. Emilio, I hope that answers your question. And look at that. There is Zunaid. It is almost, look at that, Zunaid.
What's going on? How are you? I am good. How are you, Anne-Marie?
I'm well. I'm well.
Yeah. You're a billionaire yet?
No. No.
Let me ask you before you go, I have to ask, because you are a human being after all.
Yes.
Do you never just want to just YOLO? Like, you have so much experience, you have so much wisdom in this market, right? So you are a lot more disciplined than like I am. You know, I can't speak for Ryan, but I know definitely for me. But do you never just have the itch to be like, you know what? We're going to gamble a little. Or do you have like a disciplined gamble through spreads?
You know, the market has taken so much of my money in years past. All I did in the first 7 or 8 years was essentially YOLO, literally. Yeah. I mean, I would look and I'd go, okay, this looks pretty good. I mean, I would take my regular trades, but I was constantly going, what about that? And what I learned was this is a game of probabilities. And at the end of the day, over time, the law of large numbers is going to even the game out. And so now I'm like, no, it's probably been a decade and a half since I went.
That's awesome.
Sounds like you graduated, and that also sounds like you're still why you're still around.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
Just saying.
100%. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I had to lose several millions in the beginning to figure it out.
I've often been asked that, Ryan, what is the easiest way to get $1 million trading in the market? And my answer is always the same. Start with 3. Exactly. You'll get there fast. Trust me.
Yeah. It's not fun. I remember the stress of like staying up till 3 a.m. looking at what futures were doing to know how my puts would do the next day. It was a disaster. It was a wreck. So for you, it's been a decade and a half. For me, it's been a week and a half. Ryan, appreciate you for hosting. As always, my man, Anne-Marie, always a pleasure to have you on and chat it up.
Every day's a new day.
Yeah, I wish my big account worked that way as well. You have a great day. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next time. All right, Sandra, give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready. Oh, we go ahead and got you up. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
When's the last time you YOLO'd? And I'm not talking about like an educated YOLO, but just like you know what? Here's a couple $100, whatever.
Just a couple $100. I
whatever.
I do that with day trades. I have a small portfolio that I YOLO with, and I think day trading is fun, but I don't think it's a way to make consistent income. So sometimes it's just fun to get into a trade and go for it.
I think the biggest thing is like, say for example, I'm just throwing out a general number just for easy math. Like say if someone makes $1,000 a week trading actual smart trading, then they're like, oh, you YOLO a couple $100. Well, you're YOLOing 20% of your gains, and that'll catch up to you. And then if you have a bad streak, now you're mentally screwed on what was working, and you've just kind of harmed yourself no matter what. But anyway, before I go ahead,
human emotion. Sometimes we try, the psychology of trading. Creating a business out of this. And I think once you become experienced and you recognize, you start taking advantage of small opportunities because you can see the opportunity. So oftentimes, like in my example, I think day trading is YOLOing. And so it's still, I'm looking at the chart and I'm, checking my levels, etc. But, I do recognize that that's not the best, best way or best system to have for consistent income. Yeah. So I really do prefer like swings and premium selling. Those are my 2 primary levels to make a consistent income. But I think we're all human and we all, a couple $100 is. And the scheme of things is not
that. TradingView has helped me. So I would trade with no stop losses back in the day. And I'm talking 1,000 shares, 1,500 shares. Of like Apple. I think the Disney was the most popular one story that I've shared, where it was trading at about 142, and I had like 2,000-3,000 shares of that. No stop loss, just going with it. But now, thanks to TradingView and their feature of like, hey, you can set this stop loss. Like, for example, here, let me actually just share my screen. I promise we'll get to your screen here in a moment. But like, this is a trade that I took on NVIDIA, for example, today, right? And I can just kind of set to where I don't have my broker attached to this because I'm using TradeZero, but I can be like, hey, sell this, and then, stop loss on this or whatever the case is. Here's my stop loss. Here's that. And I can just move it around. So I think just visually being able to put my stop loss
has
been really a huge help versus typing in, here's my stop loss. Here's that. Cause I can just say, all right, break of, previous bar high is my stop. Cool. Which means 1-to-1 trade. That means my level needs to be this. And that's what it was when I took this trade on TradeZero. So we'll see if NVIDIA breaks this 102. If it does, I might go short, but for now it's found support. But yeah, for now, folks, you are watching Options Trading Made Simple with Sandy.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fit-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Good morning, Benzinga. How's everybody doing today? So we're going to get right into what took place last week. So when we were, let's get rid of this here. When we were on Friday, we were looking at NVIDIA, and we were actually looking at it on a 1 hour and a 15-minute chart, and it was starting to look bearish. And because it had broke through its weekly expected move, oftentimes that gives us kind of a forecasting tool to identify, well, this could go lower the next following week. And as you can see, this tool basically just gives you the weekly expected move for any ticker. And so what's really nice about this is you can actually see, depending on when we were looking at this, we said, well, if it ends up opening up lower than where it closes on Friday, then we have an opportunity to get down to 114. And look what ended up happening. This just dropped. Within 2 days, we got to 150% and made a nice profit off of that. And so we didn't even have to wait an entire week for that. I closed it out with 150% profit, and I hope you did as well. Now, do they always work out this well? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's often good to, maybe take like 50% off, start reducing your contracts, and then leaving a couple runners on for the expiration Friday to get maximum percentage. But really by Tuesday, we got that maximum percentage and just closed out the trade. So that was a really nice move on NVIDIA. And right now, I currently on a day chart, I changed my EMA to a 5. And we talked about how looking at the 5 EMA can really kind of set the tone for a short-term trend. So when we look at a chart on a day chart and we're looking to see, okay, is the short-term trend changing? And as you can see, when we were topping out on NVIDIA here, we did break below that 5. Now you can use that 5 EMA on a daily chart on any ticker to kind of give you a sense of, hey, is this a short-term trend? Now, there's always going to be times where we're in consolidation and it, is basically chopping around. And if you're not utilizing premium generating strategies like iron condors or credit spreads, then unfortunately, you're just going to get chopped around until the move finally ends up happening. And so as you can see, it finally ended up happening. And now we're really bearish, right? We ended up closing this gap here. We had a gap here. And then I'm looking to see, did we have any others? No. And so you can see this vertical trend line that's in white here, kind of sloping up. And then you can see our horizontal previous pivot low on a day, right? So you have higher highs and higher lows. So we ended up actually making a lower high here. If you look at, if you kind of zoom out a little bit, you can see that we made a lower high here. And now we're making a, let's see, is this going to be a lower low? Are we going to continue and break this previous low on NVIDIA? It'll be interesting to see if we actually hold this upsloping vertical trend line here. We did get all the way to the 200 level And you can see that momentum is slowly shifting to the higher side. This could just roll right over. We also have a dividend coming up on September 12th. So NVIDIA is still looking bearish and really waiting for, on a day chart, for NVIDIA to get above that 108.39. Now, by the way, you could use, like, these are the tools that I like using, you know, a VWAP or some other EMA that works for you. Indicators are very subjective, so you really need to find something that like clicks with you. But once you do, it'll all makes it, everything that you see on the chart will have more confluence, and have more evidence to support your analysis of looking at the chart. So I really like to look at a short-term time frame. I really like looking at that 5, because until we actually break above that 5, and then also break above the 20 is very important to me as well on any time frame. So as you can see, we're still very bearish on NVIDIA. So as a matter of fact, the entire market is bearish. And let's take a look at VIX, because I loved what Anne-Marie was saying about the VIX. So when we take a look at the VIX, you can see this is just a 5-minute chart, guys, and it's just saying so much, right? So we opened up, we were at the low on VIX, and remember that that's just an opposite gauge of the market. So it is a fear gauge. So the higher the VIX goes, the lower the market goes. And then as you can see, as the VIX was rising today, we just kept going down and down. And really, you know, looking at some lower levels here. And if we do a turnaround, it's just probably going to be for a lower high. But you could see on a daily chart, let's take a look at that, because I often look at that for programming of like automations. When I take a look at the programming for automations as an example, I am really looking at that 5-minute, that 5 EMA on a daily chart. And as long as we stay below that, it is a short-term bearish trend. So 5503.24 is where that's located. That's a lot of room on SPX. We are very, very bearish right now. And you could see what next week's expected move is. Point of control is going to be where we close today. So where we close today versus where we open up on Monday will give us an indication. Now, when we open up on Monday, then this point of control will be kind of set in stone. It'll be a line in the sand. Anything above it is bullish, anything below it is bearish. And it's an easy way to not get bogged down on analysis paralysis. If you can stick to some simple rules that you have by looking at the chart like this, it will just kind of keep you in check with the ebbs and flows of the market. And so really looking for, this is really just looking very bearish. The entire market right now is looking bearish. And so what really, let's take a look at that really quick, like on a heat map. If we were, if we were to take a look at my heat map, where is that? Is that under tools? Visualize. There we go. If we look at the heat map, you can see what's green on this, right? And it's mostly defensive. So when the market's going down and we have J&J and Merck, this is all healthcare, right? PG, right? This is all staples that we buy, that we need, toiletries, food, etc. So you can see really what's happening. I noticed like we have unusual whales just to identify like option flow. And you could tell that silver was being bought today. So these are like these defensive names. So if you're a stock trader and you can't go short, and you're just not experienced enough to trust yourself or confident enough to buy puts in a market like this, you could look at these defensive names for going long, right? Because some, depending on your expertise and your experience, you may not want to short stocks or buy puts. And then, of course, there's always the inverse ETF that you could also go long in. So those are just a couple ideas if you tend to sway one way or the other when you are trading. So let's take a look at SPX. All the charts are going to probably look the same here. Nothing really looking good. By the way, lots of shorting on IWM. So if this is our last pivot low and this is our last pivot high up here, you could see us coming all the way down here, right? As long as we stay underneath that 5 on a daily, we could come all the way down here. This could get really bearish. And I just love what Anne-Marie said about following the VIX, seeing the VIX over 20. And by the way, the VIX, let's take a look at the VIX on a daily chart. When we look at the VIX on a daily chart, you could see this, it's rising, right? And I love the idea of, having the VIX on one side and then having the ticker that you're looking at or indice on another side to take a look at this. And so this could really help you. And you could see that momentum is very high for the VIX. The market will not do a rebound until the VIX starts to relax. And you can actually just watch it on a 5-minute chart and see and make the correlation. And look at the selling. We have 830 negative ticks in the market. This is a label that identifies, is there more buying or selling? And as you can see, it's red with a negative. We are selling. And the VIX going up 17% in one day. That's big. So really bearish. And as we take a look at, I love this. If you go on Thinkorswim, you can find public watch lists. And then there's also personal ones. And the one I really like is Market Makers. I just really feel like it has just a really good overview of, not only tech, but also our economy stocks. And it really covers a nice range of stocks in all different sectors. But you could see what's green right now with longs, right? TMO, McDonald's does well when the economy is doing bad. People like to buy cheap food, right? ABT, these are materials, PG, Merck, again, with the healthcare. DHR is interesting. Well, that's interesting. Outside of that, though, you can see a lot of defensive names. NVO, again, healthcare. But as far as tech and a lot of the economy stocks, not doing well today at all. You can also see, wow, on Merck, we have a gap here that might get filled. So let's take a look and see, what are we going to do next week? I'm going to look at SPY real quick and think, do we have an opportunity to do some ebb and flow? Usually when we get to that 200 level, we usually typically see a bounce. And I like to use that as a gauge. And you'll see that right here, we ended up, this is right here, we ended up hitting the 200 level. We actually went a little further down and then made a bounce. And we're just passing that today. So we could get a little bit of ebb and flow next week. It's a tough one, I'll tell you. I really want to just follow the trend. Super microcomputer, look at this. Oh boy, this one is just getting hammered. I really like a super microcomputer to go further down. Let's take a look at the day. The other thing I'm noticing too is that we did, just like NVIDIA did last week, right? Super microcomputer broke its a weekly expected move on the lower end. 68% of the time we actually close within this. But when we close at the bottom of it, it really does give you kind of a forecasting tool that we may end up even going further down. So I think that's what I'm going to be looking at super microcomputer. And we could actually, let's see, 421 is a long way to go. Let's look at it on an hourly. On an hourly, everything is going to be bearish. I don't want to take any longs in this market environment. I think that we're going to continue to go lower. And I think that SMCI looks very nice for an additional short. So with that in mind, let's take a look and see what kind of trade do we want to do on SMCI. We could just take a, do I have anything on this? I think I took something for the 13th. Let's see. Took a 320 put for the 13th to capture some time. And the reason I did that is because the IVR is really high. And so with that, I think for next week, I'm going to take let's take a 7-day. We can do an at the money debit spread. And I think we could capture, let me see how expensive that's going to be. By the way, look at when we talk about like trade vehicles, right? So, when you're buying options and IVR is high, the implied volatility is high, the VIX is high, the market went down today. Options are going to be expensive. So just keep that in mind. If you're not a premium seller, then you should learn about maybe credit spreads. That is a really good way to handle high premium, because then you're selling a credit spread that allows you to actually gain that premium. So you could take a call, you could sell a call credit spread as an example and earn premium. And a call credit spread is actually opposite of going bullish. It is a bearish trade. But we're going to make this simple here and then just say, let's see, we're at 384.13. So I like this, let's see, 385, 382. If we buy it, it's $1.25. And so really, if we take a look at this on our analyze graph, we can see that what we're wanting to do, the blue line here is just representing the actual trade. The purple line is representing time decay. And so what we're looking at is really for SMCI to break this threshold right here and to stay on this side. And as time decay rises, it actually helps the position if price is on this side of the graph. And so it's a nice visual representation of your trade so that you can keep track of it. Because even as we end up going down, you need some time decay to actually capture a real premium, to maximize the benefit of the trade. So I like this trade. Let me see what the risk versus reward is. So really it's a 1-to-1. So your max loss is 125, but your max profit is 125. And we're really looking for this to not only decay, but also to continue in the downward trend. And that's how you actually earn premium from this trade, is that direction and time decay. So that's what you need on this, where typically if you end up just buying a short as an example, that time decay works against you. Where on a trade like this, it actually helps you because you're buying a call and then you're also selling a call. And that kind of creates a more neutral position, but it is directional. So I actually like that for this right now, for continuation move. And as you can see, let's see, they're charging $1.30. All right. Let me get a couple of these. So let's just check the chart as we go for a little bounce. Yeah. Oh, someone's at the door. I wonder who could that be? Well, that's an impromptu little item that just occurred. And thankfully my dog is deaf, so he's not barking because he has.
I can help out if you want. I can take over for a bit if you like.
Oh no, it's fine. It's probably
sure?
just a delivery or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go back in the
So
background.
let's see here. Let me get my thing right back on track here. So okay, so we're looking at this. You could see that there's actually a wide spread here because of the IVR. I'm actually looking more towards selling here. I want to change that now, and I want to take advantage of this high volatility, and I want to sell some premium. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually sell this premium. This is called a call credit spread. Now, a call credit spread allows you to get the premium. So as soon as we make this trade, we'll be able to capture this premium in our account. And we're looking for time decay as well as direction. Now, even though it says a call credit spread, it's opposite than being a bullish. It's actually bearish. Okay, so this is a bearish trade, and we're wanting price to stay under the 385, 387.50 zone. As long as it does, and you can take a look at the analyzed trade here, you can see that it looks just the same as a put debit spread, right? But you're just utilizing that high premium, the high volatility in the market to capture. So instead of you paying an expensive price for an option, what you're doing is collecting a premium that's really high and taking advantage of that. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So I'm going to confirm and send this. Let me make sure I got 5. All right, we're in. That's going to be the trade for today. And now I'll go check and see who's at the door. Are you there, Zane?
Yep. I got you. Go ahead. You're good.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put up my charts here real quick, folks, because we are looking at an NVIDIA trade that I have taken. And, we love the risk reward aspect of things. So that's what we've got right now. Keep in mind, I already went ahead and made money with NVIDIA, when I took this short here at 104. All right. We already made money on that side. Now we're looking to make money again. Why did I take this trade? Well, you can see, let me go down to the minute here. Maybe we can explain a little bit better. But you can see how this area, you found support, it bounced up, came back, found support, bounced up, found support, bounced up, and then you came back, and now you had a resistance, right? It's a little messy, so let's clean it up with the 5-minute. Hopefully you can see what I'm seeing. Now, to me, the reason I took this trade is because I want this to now be the new resistant level that they cannot go ahead and get above, which is 102.05. That is my entry price right now on my TradeZero broker, is 102.05. Now, my stop loss, I took this on the 15-minute. So my stop loss is the high of this bar. So 102.84 is my stop loss. Now my profit target was 101.26. You can see how close we came to that. 13 cents away. I was 13 cents away from my profit target. It would be a bummer if I get stopped out, but the trade is in play. I'm not touching it, right? I'm responding to emails, Slacks, doing other things for work. I'm not looking at it, but that's the trade idea that I have. We'll see how it ends up playing out. Did you win $1 million at the door?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Was it just an Amazon package that you spent money on?
It was my pest control guy.
You know what? Pests are important to take care of as well. But
oh gosh.
Let me put your chart up here if you have a trade idea you want to finish up on. Yeah, by the way, she's talking about SMCI. Lion was asking. So SMCI is what we're talking about.
Yeah, as a super microcomputer. Does anybody have any questions about credit spreads? We haven't really gone through credit spreads here, but being a premium seller in this environment is excellent because you really get to take advantage of those expensive options. You're being the seller of those expensive options. Any questions? All right. Well, if you want to know more, come see me over at Twitter, options_Sandy, and then also tradingmadesimple.org.
Awesome. Appreciate you. We put the link in the chat for you. Sandra, always appreciate your time here. And of course, folks, next week, Ryan is going to be out, so we won't have Anne-Marie. It'll be Sandra that'll be coming on at 11 o'clock. So you'll get that half an hour extra with Sandy. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Any fun plans before you go?
No, just kicking back, just relaxing.
I love it. You're enjoying the NFL week 1 as well.
Yeah.
All right. You guys take care, Sandra. We'll see you next time. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye now.